I'm calling the meeting to order. The NVUSD Board of Education is holding a regular board meeting tonight, and we invite participation either remotely or in person. Directions on how to participate via Zoom are available at nvusd.org/board. The open session part of the meeting will begin at around 7 p.m. Item B, public comment on closed session items. Before going to closed session, the board is available for public comment on closed session agenda items. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comment on closed session agenda items?
There are no public comments on closed session items.
Okay, seeing that there are none, the board will now adjourn into closed session. Good evening. My name is Lisa Chu, and this is the Napa Valley Unified School District Board of Education. The NVUSD Board of Education is holding a regular board meeting tonight, and we invite participation either remotely or in person. Directions on how to participate via Zoom are available at nvusd.org/board. Spanish interpretation is available for tonight's virtual board meeting. Our interpreters are Francisco Mesa and Ashley Heil. One of the interpreters will now translate the directions on our English channel so our Spanish-speaking families may hear the instructions.
Buenas tardes y bienvenidos a todos. Servicios de interpretación en español están disponibles para esta reunión. Para escuchar en español, va a aparecer un icono de un globo terráqueo en la parte inferior de su pantalla. Por favor, haga clic en el icono y luego selecciona Escuchar en español. Muchas gracias y la reunión comenzará en breve.
Thank you. Can we please start with an attendance roll call from Vera Morales, Executive Assistant?
Yes, Student Board Member Fish Leader?
Present.
Trustee Shu?
Present.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Present.
Trustee Villegas Hart?
Present.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Present.
Trustee Martin?
Present.
Trustee Water?
Present.
Trustee Reiser?
Present.
Quorum present. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us tonight for our NVUSD board meeting. As we begin our meeting this evening, I would like to invite Trustee Martin to begin by sharing our Napa Valley Unified School District's vision and mission statements.
Thank you, President Shu. The vision of the Napa Valley Unified School District is that our graduates are confident, compassionate, and adaptable adults who are well prepared for life and become inspiring advocates for themselves and their community. The mission statement of the Napa Valley Unified School District is to prepare each student for a successful future by delivering rigorous and relevant learning experiences that develop their literacy and career-ready skills, cultivate their interests, and build resilience, compassion, and confidence.
Thank you. Item E1, report on closed session. Trustee Gonzalez-Mares, do you have a report on closed session agenda items?
Yes, I do. In regards to closed session items, item D1, student matters, with respect to every item of business to be discussed in closed session pursuant to Ed Code 35146 and 4891220, Government Code Section 49060 and 49078, and the Family Rights and Privacy Act. Item D1A, expulsion. The board recommends the expulsion of student 05212026.
May I get a motion?
Move to expel.
Second.
First by Trustee Martin, second by Trustee Reiser. Just roll call.
Yes.
A roll call vote, please.
Trustee Shu?
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares?
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Aye.
Trustee Martin?
Aye.
Trustee Water?
Aye.
Trustee Reiser?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
In regards to item D2A, personnel, in closed session, the board took action to approve the following staff recommendations, effective for the 2026-2027 school year. On a motion by Trustee Martin, and second by Trustee Reiser, the board voted unanimously to appoint Meshach Osborne to the position of assistant principal at Redwood Middle School. Trustee Chu, aye. Trustee Gonzalez Mares, aye. Trustee Villegas Hart, absent. Trustee Jankowicz, aye. Trustee Martin, aye. Trustee Riser, aye. And Trustee Water, aye.
Mr. Osborne is not present this evening.
Okay, well, we welcome him to his new position. All right, on a second item, on a motion by Trustee Martin and second by Trustee Riser, the board voted unanimously to appoint Tom Wolf to the position of Assistant Principal at Vintage High School. Trustee Chu, aye. Trustee Gonzalez Mares, aye. Trustee Villegas Hart, absent. Trustee Jankowicz, aye. Trustee Martin, aye. Trustee Riser, aye. And Trustee Water, aye.
Thank you, Vice President Gonzalez Mares. And Mr. Tom Wolf is here in the boardroom this evening, one of our own NVUSD teachers promoting to the NVUSD management team. We want to congratulate him and offer him the opportunity to address the board and the NVUSD community this evening. You can come to the podium. It's a little awkward because it's turned around for the special event. So you're going to address this full boardroom this evening.
All right, good evening, NVUSD Board President Chu, trustees, Dr. Musetti, and community members. It is with gratitude and excitement that I'm joining the leadership team at Vintage High School. In my 16 years at New Technology High School, I've learned, lived, and taught the value of collaboration and importance of relationships in the work that we do. I look forward to working closely with Principal Hutchinson, APs Sedgley and Cole, the teachers, parents, and especially the students at Vintage High School. Thank you. Go Crushers.
And that concludes my report.
Thank you. We are now on to item E2, the flag salute. I am going to invite our alternate student board member, Zoe Greason, to come give our flag salute.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item E3, announcement. This meeting is live streamed and recorded via Zoom and will be archived on the district YouTube channel. For a detailed review of any meeting agenda item, the archive video can be referenced on the district's webpage at nvusd.org. The process for public comment can also be found on the district's webpage. E4, approval of agenda. Before I ask for a motion, I would like to pull item K to D and also move item J2A, which is the retiree presentation, up to right before item F and after all of the item E's.
Move to approve as amended.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Martin. All in favor? Aye. Noes? Abstain? Okay, motion passes. All right, item E5, approval of minutes. April 23rd, 2026.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Martin. All in favor? Aye. Noes? Abstain? Okay, our student board member will abstain for that vote, and that motion passes. May 7th, 2026.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Martin. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes. All right, item E6, recognition of visitors and employee organizations. Dr. Musetti, do we have any visitors in attendance?
Well, Dr. Chu, we have a lot of them today.
Yes, we do. A lot of special people.
And their families. So we're so excited to have them all here. But we typically also recognize the presence of our labor union leaders who attend the meeting. And tonight we see the president of NVEA, Ms. Deb St. Clair, and the chief negotiator for the Teachers Association, Troy Giddings. Thank you for being here tonight. Would either of you like to address the board and our other special guests this evening? No? Okay, great. And then I didn't see here. Is Ms. Clayton from CSEA here? I did not see her in the audience. Is Jackie here? She's not. Okay. So thank you to the leadership of NBA for being present tonight, especially since we have so many retirees.
All right, so now we are on to item J2A. It is, I'm trying to find it on my agenda here, presentations and discussion items, human resources and retiree presentation.
All right, thank you. This is very exciting for me. Every year we get to celebrate our retirees, and I'm going to start with some remarks, and then we have a slide deck in order so that everybody can see the group of amazing retirees we have this year, and then we will proceed with the presentation of a plaque, certificate. We kind of let people choose how they wanted to commemorate this occasion, and we will take a photo with you over here. So we are very excited to have you here, and we will dive right in. But I would like to just say a few words before we proceed. So just a couple of weeks ago, from May 4th to 8th, we celebrated all of our employees under the theme of Golden. As we gather tonight to focus on our retirees, I find that this theme remains incredibly fitting. What exactly does gold symbolize? Because it resists corrosion and does not tarnish, gold is frequently associated with purity, eternal life, and incorruptibility. Furthermore, its radiant glow is often connected to higher wisdom and the life-giving energy of the sun. The retirees we are honoring this evening have collectively dedicated 446 years of service to the mission of supporting and educating the students of NVUSD. With an average tenure of 23.72 years, including 6 individuals who have served for over 3 decades, their steadfast endurance and long-term commitment certainly rival the permanence of gold. Whether they were leading schools, teaching in classrooms, providing administrative or special education support, offering counseling and medical attention, or preparing healthy meals, our retirees consistently delivered a gold standard of care. In doing so, they have graced countless students with a gift that is both more precious and more lasting than gold itself. For the profound impact that you have made on the students of NVUSD and the broader Napa Valley community, and for the enduring legacy you leave upon our world through your tireless dedication to helping every child flourish and realize their full potential, we offer our deepest gratitude and celebratory honor. President Chu, Board of Trustees, Student Representative Fish Leader, and Dr. Rossana Musetti, it is now my great pleasure to present to you the retirees of 2026. So some of you have been able to join us here in the board meeting, and I really appreciate you making the time to be here. We are excited to recognize you individually, those of you who are able to come. If we tried checking you off as you came in, if we missed you, I'm going to apologize in advance, but I think I got everybody. But please shout out if I miss anybody who is here and does not get called. But we're going to start off with Lourdes Caraventis. And go over there and pose for a photo with Chris. And while Lourdes is taking her photo, we're going to recognize our next retiree, Sean Gregory. Next, we have Julie Jones. And next, we have Mary Craybill. All right, our next retiree is Kara Lotz. And our next honoree is Amy Martinson. Next, we have Lori Oha. Our next retiree is Cheryl Rainville. Our next retiree is Stephanie Shepard Lamarca. Right? Our next retiree is Lori Paisley. Our next retiree is Sandra Travaglia. And next we have Eric Treskin. Our next retiree is Betsy Witt. And next we have Mike Wilmarth. All right, and last but not least, we have Sally Zickmond. All right, once again, thank you so much for the opportunity to recognize our retirees from 2026, and can we give them all one big round of applause?
So we're going to allow a few minutes if you guys want to leave. You can certainly stay for the rest of the meeting, but I know you have families to celebrate with, so
Congratulations.
Congratulations, everyone.
For old time's sake.
I would go for it, yeah.
We're going to restart the meeting now. On to item F, recognition of students of the month. F1, Valley Oak High School. Will Assistant Principal Marcus please present the students of the month? Is it in person?
Say it again. In person.
No worries. I know we're all celebrating. Yes, we're back.
Is that better? There we go. Ready? All right, well, thank you for everything tonight. That's a hard act to follow. So I am here to introduce the Valley Oak Students of the Month. I believe one was not able to make it, but really appreciate the Education Foundation and the Board of Trustees and Dr. Massetti for recognizing our awesome students. Actually, this was an amazing night. Like, I realize how long I've been here, you know, seeing Amy Martinson when I and her were working at McPherson Elementary School during the summer when the book Tribes came out, running summer school when Cindy Water was a teacher. Time flies. I'm getting, yeah, anyways, it's about the students. It's about the students. It's kind of a nostalgic night. I apologize.
Be here now.
Sorry. Thank you. Thank you for the redirection. So I do that all the time. So our first student of the month is Yair Reese Ayala. He actually is a pretty darn new student to Valley Oak High School. He's only been there for a pentamester and a half, so approximately about 50 school days. With the help of some, Yair's not here tonight. With the help of some community partners, we got Yair to start coming to school. He didn't come to school for a very long time and started coming to school on our first day back, I believe it was January 11th, after the 3-week break. And since he's been back, he's been there every day, straight A's. We don't typically nominate or give the student of the month or nominate the student of the month to the board who's been there for such a short time, but this guy made a huge, drastic turnaround, and it's amazing. Again, he's only been with us for a short time, but I did get something from Mr. Gassner to say something about him. It's Mr. Gassner's birthday today, by the way. He's Yair's economics teacher. Yair sets the tone for our economics class. He is witty, smart, well-spoken, and energetic. Yair is the type of person who enjoys other people and is uniquely a fun person. Yair is friendly to everyone in our class. So, congratulations, Yair. This next student is another Valley Oak Student of the Month. Jonathan, come on up here, buddy. Jonathan's a little nervous, just to let you know, but everybody's very friendly up here, Jonathan, and we're here to celebrate you. I do have a few things to say about him from some input from the teachers. Jonathan's been with Valley Oak for a couple years now. Mr. Mutzuris, who is one of our social studies teachers, says that Jonathan is respectful, polite, always positive and smiling, great communicator, organized, always kept track of his missing work and would get it done. He always chose to sit up front and would also do work with fellow classmates to keep them motivated to get work done. Mr. Gassner, again, happy birthday. Jonathan is the quiet assassin in our economics class. He is attentive, a good listener, a hard worker. He is a joy to teach because he is a polite young man and a confident attitude. I suspect the adults that are involved in his life are positive influence who guided Jonathan to be a genuinely nice, hardworking young person. Veronica Guerrero, our parent community liaison. Jonathan is an incredibly deserving of this month's Student of the Month honor. We know him for being exceptionally hardworking, respectful, and responsible. Jonathan consistently represents both himself and our school with the utmost integrity. He has stepped up as a true leader on campus. Dependability, managing the high demands of student leadership positions. Whether he is lending his voice to crucial student-centered decision-making meetings or contributing greatly to our parent night events such as ELAC, Jonathan is never afraid to advocate for his peers and make a positive impact. We are incredibly proud to have him as a leader in our school and community. And last but not least, Ms. Markle. Speaking of the golden theme, we call our ELD group the Golden Acorns. Ms. Markle is the teacher for our ELD classes. So Ms. Markle has this to say about you, Jonathan. Jonathan is the president of the Golden Acorns. He has recorded our youth gambling PSA at Napa Valley TV 2 years in a row in English and in Spanish. So you all might have seen him on TV. This year, he hosted all of our ELAC meetings and presented his senior essay. He has also contributed to our annual supply drive to benefit the Napa County Animal Shelter and Adoption Center. He was also part of the design team for our new Valley Oak hoodies, working directly with the vendor. In class, he is diligent and well-mannered, extremely soft-spoken, and has a good sense of humor. So I'm sure you're tired of hearing from me. Ready? Yeah. You're going to do great, buddy.
Good evening. My name is Jonathan LaCruz. I am a senior at Valley Oak High School. I'm the second oldest out of 4 siblings, their names being Yair as my older brother, my younger brother Kevin, my little sister Anna Sophia, and my baby brother Max. Ever since I was little, I always liked helping people, even when I wasn't doing so well myself. I will always try to help as much as I can because I wouldn't want anybody to go through anything on their own. Which is why I always try to help my siblings. I'd like to point them out on the right path so they don't end up in bad situations like I have. I was born on June 19, 2007 at Napa Valley Medical Center. At the age of 7, my grandma has passed away. Me and my family members moved to Mexico. Sorry.
You're good. You're good.
At the age of 17, me and my family moved back to California. I'm sorry. At first, I wasn't too happy about it because I was leaving a lot of my friends and family behind in Mexico. We're not leaving them behind, but, you know. At this point, I joined Napa High School, and I wasn't doing as well as I was. I wasn't showing up to classes. I wasn't doing my assignments until I got to Valley Oak on my junior year. So Valley Oak has taught me a lot of stuff, helped me make a lot of my stuff back, as in like my credits. And this year I will be able to graduate. You saw my credit. Sorry. Congratulations.
Congratulations. We're now on to F2, Napa Valley Independent Studies. Will Ms. Jessica Farrell, NVIS teacher, please present the Students of the Month?
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Suzanne Quinlan. I have the privilege of being Brianna Rivera's teacher at NVIS. Tell you a little bit about her and why we nominated her. Brianna has been at Independent Studies for many years, including even some time in middle school, and she has shown tremendous growth in her academic progress along the way, particularly this year. Although she had some catching up to do on her credits, she really pulled out all the stops this year to complete them so she could graduate from Independent Studies. She even got done with her credits a couple of weeks early. Brianna is an excellent writer, and she always worked hard to continue improving her scores on her school-wide writing assessments. She also really excels at math, making it through even our tough Math 3 course on subject.com while showing understanding and mastery of difficult concepts. Brianna is kind and sweet and well-liked and respected by everyone she meets. Her mom says that one of the things she is most proud of in Brianna is her independence. She's shown initiative to take care of things at home and at school on her own, while her parents have dealt with health concerns. She's even struggled with her own health and continued to persevere. She cares deeply for her family and is always there to help her parents when needed. Brianna said that she really wanted to make her parents proud of her by completing her work and being able to walk the stage as an Independent Studies graduate. And Brianna, I just have to say, you've made us all proud. Congratulations.
Good evening, members of the board and the Napa Valley Education Foundation and guests. My name is Brianna Rivera. Thank you for this honor and for recognizing me as the March NVIS Student of the Month. My educational journey began at Shear Elementary and Harvest Middle School, and I attended New Technology High School, though I have spent most of my educational journey at Napa Valley Independent Studies. I would like to thank my parents for their unconditional support and love. I am truly grateful for everything they have done for me. I hope to continue to make them proud. I would also like to thank Mrs. Cisneros and Mrs. Quinlan for giving me a second chance to graduate with my class. That opportunity became my greatest motivation to stay focused and complete my schoolwork. Last year was challenging, but it helped me grow and become more determined about my future. With the guidance and encouragement of Mrs. Quinlan, I was able to regain focus, stay consistent with my work, and continue moving forward academically. I am proud of my growth this year, both academically and personally. I volunteer with my mom at St. Vincent de Paul and annually at the Indian Education Cultural Event, teaching children how to make corn stalls and learn more about the Native American culture. I am also a part of the Mariposa Ballet Folklorico program. This program has helped me gain confidence and make friends. I plan to attend the Napa Valley College to study business and become a real estate agent. Thank you again for this recognition.
Okay, hello. My name is Jessica Farrell, and I'm a teacher at Napa Valley Independent Studies. And today I have the honor to present the Student of the Month Award for Napa Valley Independent Studies to Abigail, but we know her as Joy Velasco. And she's been a student of mine for the past couple of years. So before I talk a little bit about Joy, I just want to take a moment to describe just a snippet of our reality in alternative education. I feel like oftentimes students who are chosen to come before you are students who have a long list of academic achievements and they're celebrating academic accomplishments. And while we celebrate those things too, I feel like in our school it's about the struggle and the day-to-day struggle and trying to get through that and overcome obstacles. So the reality was that happened to us today. And so just to share like a little personal experience, you know, of what the struggle looks like. It looks like stress, and it looks like overwhelm, and it looks like trying and trying and trying, only to sometimes not get the results that you want. And Joy was ready to throw in the towel today, or last night even, and I thought she had given up until this morning when she just walked in the door. And I feel like she did such an amazing job just pulling herself up by the bootstraps. And when she came in this morning, her eyes were red, she was crying. I saw, basically sadness. I saw fear. I saw, shame. I saw anguish. I saw all these kinds of things, but yet she still had the courage to get into the door despite all of the struggles. I am presenting this amazing human who loves theater, she loves art, she loves film, and she loves to entertain us all at Independent Studies every day. And so I present her to you.
Hello. Wait, can you hear me? Okay. Hi, my name is Abigail, better known as Joy Velasco, and I am a student at Napa Valley Independent Studies. I would like to thank my teachers, Ms. Farrell and Mrs. Quinlan, for helping me on my journey at Napa Valley Independent Studies. I would like to recognize and thank the Board of Education and the Napa Valley Education Foundation for this award. In my time in this district, I have attended 7 different schools, and in that time before Independent Studies, it has been a roller coaster of ups and downs. Once I joined Independent Studies, I was able to find helpful resources and a community that cared for my completion and pushed me to persevere even when I went at my own pace. After graduation, I would like to attend Napa Valley College and study technical theater. Something that I'm most proud of is that I was able to get up and show up every day, and that there were people in my corner telling me to push forward even when I thought I couldn't. Thank you.
Congratulations. We're now going to pause for a moment to take some photos with our Students of the Month.
Oh, sorry, that's right.
All right, we are back. On agenda item G, public comment on non-agenda items. Trustee Gonzalez-Mars, did we receive any public comments on non-agenda items via email?
Public comments on non-agenda items were not submitted via email at publiccomment@nvusd.org before 8 a.m. this morning.
Thank you. Before I open the floor to public comment on non-agenda items, I would like to explain the rules that govern this area of the meeting. The Brown Act open meeting laws under which we are required to operate prohibit board members from discussing items that you may bring up that are not on our current agenda. The reason for this legal restriction is to make sure that anyone who has any interest in a particular district business matter knows through the board's posted agenda when we will be discussing it as a board, so that they may also be present and provide input on the item. We are very happy to have you here to let us know your concerns. Please know that while we cannot discuss items that are not on the agenda, we are listening to your voices, and we expect and know that our staff will follow up with us on issues raised by members of our community. Relevant to the remainder of the board agenda, please understand that the board listens and considers public comments on agendized items during our meeting. However, public comment is not intended to be a two-way dialogue between the public and board members and/or staff, and therefore trustees will not respond to individual comments. This is in accordance with our meeting procedures. We invite members of the public to provide input via public comment per our board bylaw 9323 regarding meeting agenda items. We welcome and appreciate the public's engagement and input. In sum, please know that your voice matters and makes a difference. Your public comment on agendized items might be referenced during our discussions and will be considered as we make decisions regarding agendized items. Dr. Musetti, do we have any public comments on non-agendized items?
We do not.
Okay. All right. Mr. Michaels, do we have any public comments on non-agenda items online?
There are no public comments on non-agenda items online.
Thank you. We're now on to item H, reports. H1, Board of Education and Student Board Representative. Student Board Representative Fish Leader?
Thank you. None of our visitors are here anymore, but it was great to see them, and it brings me so much joy seeing people leaving and people being recognized. Pretty short report. May 13th, I, along with all the other trustees here, was at the State of the District event, excuse me. However, I didn't really play the role of sitting and watching for the remainder. I kind of was venuing and ushering people until I was told to come sit, but I was just in shock by how impressive the American Canyon dance team is. I was shocked by it. And Napa Valley, like, I was talking to my friend who was there, and we were both shocked by how impressive the Napa High School dance team really is. It blows vintages out of the water, I'm gonna be honest. May 14th, I attended.
Well, they are the national champions.
They are. May 14th, I attended Vintage High School Site Council, and I was unfortunately not able to meet our new vice principal, but I'm excited. I'm not going to be there next year, but I'm excited to see what he can do. We talked about the student site plan and the construction that will be taking place at Vintage this summer, and additionally just adding and incorporating more community program events. I think that's a problem on campus, which is we don't have enough transition as into freshmen, but I'm excited to hear what's going on. May 19th, I saw Superintendent Dr. Musetti introduce our top students at Vintage High School scholarship ceremony. Congratulations to all of the high school seniors who won an award. It was great to see you to introduce them, and they were very impressive. I think you got to read their biographies, so they're very impressive. And that's all I have. That's my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Reiser?
Thank you. Yes, on May 12th, I joined student trustee Fish Leader at the State of the District event, along with my colleagues here. I really enjoyed the new kind of structure format that we had there, and really appreciated that we had students present afterwards for the community members who were present to interact with them and ask them. They were kind of the ambassadors of the strategic plan, and I just thought that was such a cool new innovation. So very well done to everyone who worked on that event. There's so much that goes into that. May 13th was the celebratory opening of the Valley Oak High School Wellness Center. very gratifying. And then a few days later, we had the New Technology High School Wellness Center opening. So now we have a functioning wellness center at all 9 of our secondary campuses. So very gratifying to attend those final 2 ribbon cuttings, and just feel very proud of the structure and organization system-wide that we have there. I also, on May 13th, had my quarterly governance check-in lunch with Dr. Massetti. On May 14th, I joined Trustee Chu for the City of American Canyon 2x2 meeting, which I'll report out on in a bit. And then later in that day, attended the ACHS Instrumental Music Symphonic Concert. I realized all my years of being a choir mom and a musical theater mom, I had not been to an NVUSD instrumental concert before, and I was really blown away. The teacher, Brandon Day, just obviously creates an amazing environment for his students. And I think for me, the crowning thing, the amazement of that concert, where there was not 1, not 2, but 3 original pieces composed by students of the program, performed by their peers. So I was just blown away, and congratulations to all the student performers. I attended on the 19th, the Facilities and Technology Committee Board Advisory meeting. On the 20th, the HIT and Letters celebration event. I'm sure Dr. Massetti will go into detail about that celebration, but I will just say I'm incredibly grateful to our hardworking educators, and I want to thank them for going the extra mile to get extra training, to position them to be better educators for their students. It's really, really impressive commitment, and it was a fun celebration. And then I went on from there with Trustee Chu to attend the McPherson Elementary School open house. My old teaching buddy is a teacher there, and she invited me, and it was really fun to go and see all of the grade levels, and great, great parent turnout at that community school. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Trustee Water?
Thank you, President Chu. Well, like my colleagues, I went to the May 12th State of the District, and I think I agree with Trustee Fischleiter that the dancers were extraordinary. And you know, I never thought I would see a dance routine to Stairway to Heaven in the Napa Valley Unified School District Auditorium. You know, hats off for innovation. It was amazing. And let's see, May 13th, went to the opening of the Valley Oak Wellness Center, and I am going to bring that book for the Wellness Center Library. I finished it. It's great. And May 14th, I went to the CTE Student Achievement Awards at Napa Valley College. It is, and you know, all the students from all of our schools were recognized. It's always nice to see that. May 15th, I had my check-in lunch with Dr. Massetti. May 19th, Facilities and Tech meeting. And then that night, I dropped in at City Hall to thank them for the Fuller Park Playground, which will benefit the children who go to Shear School, Shear Elementary, my neighborhood. You know, I thought I'd come in and say something positive since, you know, the people on next door Napa, you know, were kind of being kind of critical of it. And it's really a beautiful facility. And on the 20th, I went to the Letters and HIT team celebrations. It is, again, wonderful to see our teachers get recognized for their efforts, and they are succeeding. My compliments to the chef over at Nosh. The refreshments were outstanding. I bit into what I thought was a yogurt parfait, but instead it was a cheesecake with fresh cherry sauce. I kind of had to recalibrate my appestat there. The usual community outreach. These involve trees and technology. And I recommend a book I finished. It's called Paper Girl by the author of Dope Sick. And for those of you who, you know, were not incredibly impressed with Hillbilly Elegy or even educated, this is a really interesting book about a young woman's struggles to get educated and what has changed since she went to college. The barriers that are put in people's paths, and imagine that, the societal factors that result in widespread poverty. So, I just recommend it to everybody. And that is my report.
Thank you. Trustee Martin?
Thank you, President Chu. On May 12th, I too attended the State of the District, and I was impressed that they chose a piece from opera. Napa High chose a piece from South America. It's The Barber of Seville. It's the figure from those. So I'm glad to see that opera is being exposed to our young people. And then on May 15th, I gave a little speech at the opening of the New Tech High School Wellness Center. So that was very gratifying. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Trustee Jankowicz?
Thank you, President Chu. I want to congratulate the Napa Valley Ed Foundation and Jennifer Stewart for receiving the 2025 Achievement in Nonprofit Excellence from CVNL, Center for Volunteer and Nonprofit Leadership. It is well deserved. I too attended the NVUSD State of the District. I do want to send congratulations to Dr. Massetti and the entire NVUS team on what was truly the best State of the District yet. It was inspiring to see the conversation shift from kind of laying all the foundational work to demonstrating real impact for students and families. At a time when many districts across California are struggling with financial solvency and uncertainty, NVUSD is in the privileged position of highlighting progress, highlighting achievement, and highlighting outcomes. And it's a real testament to strong leadership, hard work, and what has become a very clear vision for our future. So, congratulations. Right after the State of the District, I had a regional call with CSBA, planning outreach strategy for our advocacy arm. I, along with my peers, attended the Valley Oak High School Wellness Center grand opening. I missed the CTE Achievement Awards as I was in Sacramento on Thursday to attend a dinner kicking off the Delegate Assembly. The Board of Directors met all day on Friday, and our key discussion topics were bylaws, student achievement, state budget May revisions, legislative reports, statewide ballot measures, ELA, which is the Educational Legal Alliance updates, and of course, AEC. Delegates from all over the state of California arrived for the Saturday-Sunday portion of the conference. Region 3, our region, welcomed 2 new delegates, one from Rincon Valley and one from Solano County Office of Ed. And I will let Trustee Villegas-Hart discuss the delegate assembly content. She had to leave on Sunday, so I will share this summary discussion from Patrick O'Donnell. Actually, I'm looking at how long this is. I'm going to have to cut this down rather dramatically because we'll be here forever. But the May revise proposes about $127 billion in Prop 98 funding for K-12 and community colleges, but the governor is still withholding $3.9 billion from allocation until next year to serve as a financial buffer for future deficits. CSBA and the Ed Coalition held a press conference this morning on the states at the Capitol to denounce the withholding. They argue, as do I, that withholding these funds violates the voter-approved constitutional guarantee of Prop 98. I won't go through everything up, but it was the super COLA and how it ties into the 14 weeks of paid pregnancy leave, the emphasis on CCSPP, SPED, CTE, and lots more. The work of CSBA is not that different from our own, and I'll read this closing statement of the conference. As trustees, we recognize that closing the achievement gap is not solely the responsibility of individual school districts, but a shared responsibility with the state of California. And while our districts can serve diverse communities with unique needs, we are united in our commitment to equity, accountability, and measurable student success. And by working together as school districts, we can elevate our collective voice, advocate for stronger state support and transparency, and ensure that every student, regardless of zip code, background, or circumstance, has access to the opportunities and outcomes they deserve. I finished and submitted my SUP evaluation. I attended CSBA's May Budget Revise webinar. I met with Rob Weiss from Mentis, quite timely given our upcoming presentation this evening, and I was unable to go to the HIT and Letters recognition ceremony last night as I was attending another AEC meeting, and we are working through the hundreds of proposals for the ED conference in December, and we now have our general speakers, and that concludes my report.
Thank you. Trustee Villegas-Hart?
To pick up from there, so the point that you need to remember from Robin's entire report is that if you don't like AEC this year, it's because, out of the hundreds and hundreds of applications, they didn't pick the right ones. But in all seriousness, the delegate assembly is one of probably my favorite things to do as a trustee. And what it is it's a section of, out of the 5,000 plus school board members in the entire state of California, there are 280 that are elected
from 21 different geographical regions. There was 2 main topics this year that was discussed: CTAG, which is closing the achievement gap. And there are a couple of assembly bills to be aware of. Assembly Bill 2514, which is headlined Pupil Achievement, the State of Achievement Gap Dashboard. So take a look at that one. The second one is Assembly Bill 2149, which is also moving through, which is a proposed measure that would affect the state's involvement in closing the achievement gaps, because it was very much acknowledged that these are not just issues that are local to each individual district, but rather a statewide issue. The other meeting that I went to that was very interesting was a special breakfast by the CSBA directors at large called Addressing Student Health, Mental Health with Culturally Competent Strategies. And they had 3 speakers that came through and spoke about how they had addressed mental health at each one of their districts, one of which had at every single site a licensed social worker, no matter the size. So, and these are smaller areas. So they've invested the time and money into creating an environment that supports their students' mental health rather than just kind of glossing over it. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Trustee Gonzalez-Morris?
Thank you, President Chu. Yeah, I too attended, of course, the State of the District. Wouldn't miss it. Along with my fellow trustees, I echo what everyone else has said. It was wonderful, and it was a great opportunity to engage with the district staff. In particular, Trustee Reiser and I took a tour, because after the State of the District, in the district hallways, you could visit our strategies, and they were guided by our students and district staff. And so it was really nice to hear the voices of our students explain how the strategy, for example, of belonging or engagement and parent engagement, and hear their perspective around that, and also in technology. Of course, some response about putting your iPhone away. We heard quite from a couple of the students and their perspective around that. So it was multifaceted display of our goals and strategies that are being put to work. And of course, the start of the show was spectacular with the ACHS Dance Club and Napa High's spirit leaders, from Stairway to Heaven to Bad Bunny. So it was fantastic. As Dr. Mercetti said, it even got her to dance a little bit, and so it really got the group in the room moving along. So really, thank you for the district staff for your time and dedication to really find a creative way to engage our NVUSD community on all these areas that we are working very hard to achieve. On May 20th, along with President Chu and Superintendent Dr. Massetti, we met with Nosh Food Service Director Dustin Walker and received a fabulous tour of not only the facility, but he just explained along the way his vision and just tremendous amount of work he has put in place since he first started in January. It feels like he's been here for years, but he has done so much and just started in January. And in particularly, I just felt like to highlight one area he's working very hard is to work with local vendors. So we have sourdough from West One Bread as bread for our sandwiches. That's just a local bakery here. And then bagels from Toasted. There's always a huge line to get your bagels at Toasted. And he is, having a contract with a local tortilla maker. So fresh tortillas from the place that I like to go get my tortillas when my husband doesn't want to make them for me. And I just thought it was just really neat to see the vision of our work of having nutritious food for our students, being a visionary in terms of our district of our partnerships. It's so important because we can't do it alone. And then we got to walk away with a little taste of a burrito of chorizo and eggs. It didn't need some salsa. He told me that. He's like, you're gonna need some salsa. So I got home and put some of my own salsa, and it was delicious. So I just really appreciate having this, full activities of showcasing really the work that the district's doing. So that concludes my report. Thank you.
Great, thank you. I also attended a lot of the different events that the other trustees have attended, so I will skip those. I had 2 meetings with Dr. Musetti. Last week was my quarterly trustee check-in, and also this week was my board president check-in. And I was invited to be a podcaster for an hour on Monday, filming. It's going to be the NVUSD report card with Dr. Musetti and Dr. Aboud. So you'll look out. I'm sure it will go out in June or July, I think. June. So that was probably one of the most fun events that I got to do.
She was a natural.
It was fun. It was fun. All right, and that concludes my report. Item H2, Board Representative Reports. H2A, Special Education Community Advisory Committee.
Unfortunately, the final meeting of the school year needed to be canceled because of some scheduling conflicts, so we did not meet. But I just wanted to say I've just rejoined the Community Advisory Committee as the board representative in January, and I want to thank Director Kelsey Pettiam from NCOE. She's really put together informative, information-packed, supportive, really purposeful presentations, and I'm going to try to think about ways to support getting the word out for more parents because she's just very thoughtful and purposeful about those information sessions. So that we did not have a report for that.
Yay, thank you. H2B, City of American Canyon Liaison Representatives.
Yes, we did meet with the City of American Canyon. And we just, it was really mostly updating on our side, the NVUSD side of things that are going to be of interest and note to the electeds there. We spoke about enrollment trends, the expansion of TK in our district and how that has impacted our enrollment, also the impact of the interdistrict policy that we are butting up against with our neighboring district, Vallejo City Unified School District, and the impact there on American Canyon. Closing out Measure A2, which is a real cause for celebration, and giving them the updates on that. Updated them about our bond projects across the district and our career readiness and focus on launch your future focus for the district, and thank them for their participation and support in that. And that concludes that report.
Thank you. Item H2C, City of Napa Liaison Representatives. No? Okay. H3, Superintendent and Executive Staff.
Great. Thank you, President Chu. And yes, it was a pleasure having you interview us. She returned at the tables and she was the podcast host. So we had to answer her tough questions. So it was great. You did a fantastic job. So as you've heard from the board, as we approach the conclusion of another school year, I just want to take a moment to address NVUSD trustees, staff, and the entire community. The past couple of weeks have been, as you heard, filled with lots of celebrations, recognition, and meaningful moments here in our district. In many ways, this time of year reflects one of our primary core values in action, which is a culture of kindness, joy, and celebration. And I hope you felt that in the boardroom tonight as we celebrate our retirees. So I want to take a moment to thank the Human Resources Department for all of their work around that. I've had the privilege of attending many of the same numerous end-of-year events that are showcasing the extraordinary accomplishments of our students and staff, from the scholarship ceremonies to our CTE Achievement Awards to other recognition events like the opening of our 2 final high schools that needed their wellness centers, a New Technology High School and Valley Oak High School. These celebrations remind us of the talent, the perseverance, the commitment, and the overall impact that exists in NVUSD. I also want to, again, thank everyone for their comments regarding the State of the District event. I want to just take a moment here on the public record to recognize our Chief Communications Officer, who's also responsible for community engagement, Julie Bordez, Chris Reddy, the entire Communications Office team. They just did an extraordinary job putting together this event. It requires months and weeks of coordination. The integration of our students was just such a such a value add, having student voice. That has been the theme of the strategic plan. From its inception, we launched with student voice over at NBC. It's hard to believe, almost 3 years ago already. And here we are reporting the progress and making sure that our students are helping us report on that progress and impact. It did provide us an opportunity to reflect, even just in preparing for it. It was a tremendous process of reflection as we prepared to report out to the community about the progress our district has made together, and to celebrate those collective efforts. It really does take a all-hands-on-deck approach when you're trying to improve a school district across all of its functions, primarily, of course, the core function of educating our students with increased levels of excellence and care. So I want to thank all the staff, student, family, and community partners who attended. It was great to have you there. And it was an event that highlighted not only the achievement, but I think that we also shared our commitment to our areas of growth that continue to be present for us, that we know as we close those gaps and address those areas of growth, we will continue to move NVUSD forward. In addition, I wanted to mention that I had the opportunity, I wasn't able to make it to the secondary colloquium, but I made it to the elementary colloquium that was hosted at the Napa County Office of Education, where many of our NVUSD teachers and their mentors engaged in thoughtful dialogue around best practices in the classroom. These opportunities for reflection and collaboration are important as we continue to strengthen our own systems. And this, of course, the colloquium is mostly centered around the support for our teachers who are early in their career. So it's always great to see that mentor and new teacher relationship blossom, and then hear about the impact that it had as these teachers navigate their first few years in the classroom. This time of year also allows us to recognize professional growth. And we did take a kind of stand-alone moment to recognize, as the board member said, the tremendous hard work of our high-impact instructional team and letters-trained educators this year. Yesterday, it was such a joy to celebrate, I'm going to say, hundreds of hours that these teachers invested in terms of additional professional development outside of the standard professional development that all of our teachers receive. I thought about yesterday preparing for that. I was thinking of my own doctoral dissertation that looked at, professional development and coaching. And so often in education, our most precious resource is time. And we know that educators in the classrooms often don't have it. They're always, just not enough time. And the fact that these educators, there's, over 300 of them, we had about a quarter of them attend the ceremony yesterday during this very busy time of year. When we think about the investment of additional time, the hundreds of hours over this sustained period of multiple years to their own professional growth, I just think it really speaks to the caliber of educator that we have here in NVUSD. So I want to thank them for their professionalism, their dedication. It was an honor, an absolute honor, to recognize them in a fun way yesterday. And I want to thank the 3 trustees who were able to be present and represent the school board. President Chu did a great job also addressing the group. I want to extend heartfelt gratitude to our retirees as well. Their years of service, care, and commitment have left a lasting impact on generations of students and colleagues. I know when we all sit here in that space every year, it truly is an inspiration. Folks get choked up when they think about the fact that they're separating, as a retiree from the school district. But I was whispering with so many of them who kind of find their way back and stay connected to our students. The connection across the communities of American Canyon and Napa to our schools are so powerful. And so I know that that connection will continue, and it was an honor to celebrate them as well. And I'm just going to take this moment to, continuing with the theme of celebration and end of year, I just want to tell both Hudson Fischleder, our trustee, and our trustee alternate, Zoe Greason. It's just been an absolute pleasure with working with both of you. I know the board members will address you at the appropriate time in the agenda item that's ahead, but we want to thank you for your leadership, your student voice, and your tremendous amount of advocacy for the student body, not just at your respective schools, but across the school district. Your perspectives have helped ground many of our discussions in the student experience, which is really important to better inform our work. And you've really strengthened not only the work of the board, but I think I speak on behalf of the entire district leadership team. It's just incredible to hear your perspectives, and we wish you the best of luck in all of your future endeavors. As we prepare for our upcoming graduation ceremonies, I'm going to say the marathon of graduation ceremonies, there is a tremendous growing sense of excitement and pride. There's also a lot of hard work that goes into those ceremonies, and I know our maintenance and operation teams, it's like a lot of what they're doing right now. I have a lot of pride in the caliber of graduation ceremony that we provide here in NVUSD, and so I want to thank all of that team that I know is working extra hours to prepare for those coming in the next couple of weeks. It is one of our most meaningful celebrations out of all the ones that I've mentioned, representing the years of hard work, perseverance, growth, and achievement of our students and family. I always like to tell the team we are in the business of graduation. That's ultimately what our kind of end product is, and setting up all of our students like Hudson and Zoe for post-secondary success and opportunities. So with only 2 weeks remaining in the school year, with graduations amidst all that, I encourage all of us to remain focused, continue to support one another during this incredibly busy time, and finish the year strong here in NVUSD for all of our students. Sound good? Do that? Okay, great. So I am filled with gratitude and pride, and thank you to everyone who's contributing to another successful year. We're almost at the end. It's hard to believe. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to the assistant superintendents, and we're going to begin with Assistant Superintendent Dana Page, who's got her golden glow from her retiree ceremony here. And again, thank you to HR. She'll report out on the work that's happening in the Human Resources Division.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, I would just like to say thank you for the opportunity to present earlier our retirees, and I will forego another report tonight. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, now we'll hear from our Assistant Superintendent of Instructional Support Services, Dr. Monica Reddy.
Good evening, President Chu, Board of Trustees, Student Board Member Fish Leader, and Superintendent Dr. Musetti and the NVUSD community. Celebration is a theme as we end the year. Last year, we celebrated a major milestone, as you've heard, in student support with the official grand openings of our newest wellness centers at Valley Oak High School and New Technology High School. With these additions, NVUSD now proudly hosts wellness hubs on 9 campuses, including 4 middle schools and 5 high schools. These centers are youth-centered safe spaces that provide a single point of access for crisis intervention, mental health counseling, and care coordination. Thank you to Roxana Plancarte, Coordinator of Student Wellness and Support, our school site teams, and community partners who provide the vital services and coordination. The communication team always makes these events special for each school community and the district, so thank you to our communication team. NVUSD proudly supports 15 career pathways, and at our recent Career Technical Education celebration, teachers honored outstanding students selected from each pathway for their exceptional success in career readiness. A major highlight of the evening was hearing from New Tech High School and Vintage High School students who shared their journey with Career Technical Student Organizations, CTSOs, and career-aligned learning, highlighting their opportunities to grow their knowledge and develop leadership skills. Thank you to our college and career readiness team for their support in empowering our students for future success, and NCOE for hosting the event. This week, we gathered to celebrate, as was shared, the incredible momentum of professional development initiatives. Teachers were honored for their commitment to letters and HIT. We celebrated HIT participants' bold, ambitious first year, focused on creating a district-wide instructional framework grounded deeply in the gradual release of responsibility. The growth and insights gained around effective classroom instruction this year have been inspiring. In tandem with this work, our commitment to early literacy through letters training has expanded dramatically. What began as a pilot cohort has grown to encompass all elementary principals, instructional division staff, the letters early childhood cohorts, and even the superintendent. As we close out this school year, more than 250 teachers and administrators are either fully trained or completing their training, establishing a strong research-backed foundation for student literacy. I want to thank Executive Director Matt Manning for his passion for early literacy, his vision, and his execution in ensuring that our students are on track to read by 3rd grade. Our academic investments are already yielding clear results in the classroom. The kindergarten through 2nd grade district readiness assessment was recently completed. In a powerful display of collaboration, teachers worked across different school sites to score student writing samples and analyze performance trends, generating real-time insights to take back to their school teams. Across all participating grade levels, student writing demonstrated clear evidence of the impact of the Writing Revolution curriculum. Reviewers noted a distinct progression of skills, with students moving from developing complex sentences to composing organized paragraphs with rich detail and structure. Student scores are currently being entered, and leadership will analyze a full data set before the end of the school year to help map out next steps for next year. We also want to recognize the middle and high school science and social studies teachers who have dedicated their time and expertise to developing guaranteed and viable curriculum. Throughout the year, these teacher leaders have worked thoughtfully to refine proficiency scales and develop common assessments, ensuring equitable learning experiences for every student in the district. This vital work was expertly guided by District Academic Specialist Karen Fleming, who has fully embraced this initiative over the past 2 years, partnering closely with leading expert Dr. Tammy Heffelbauer. Their combined leadership has been instrumental in moving our system of supports forward in science and history, social science. And finally, just when you thought it was time for summer break, our Expanded Learning Opportunities Program staff is just getting warmed up. The ELOP team is currently preparing to launch an incredibly robust summer session for over 2,000 students, offering diverse TK-12 programming across multiple district sites. This resource ensures that our students will have access to safe, engaging, and high-quality summer fun and learning, and we look forward to hearing about it this summer. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Reddy. And we do have to take a moment to thank you for parenting one of those Napa High dancers. To remember Dr. Reddy's daughter, Addison, who's a ninth grader there. And I have to admit, I watched the video 3 times this weekend because I just continue to be amazed by them. So thank you for parenting and nurturing that love of dance.
Thank you. We're really proud of her.
Yes, you should.
And grateful for the coaching staff.
Yeah, incredible. Okay, and so last but not least, we have Assistant Superintendent Rob Mangwala, who oversees business and operations.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to update the board and the community. Business Services is busy wrapping up our budget. Besides the unlawful holdback of Prop 98 funds, the budget is largely great news for NVUSD. A slightly larger than expected cost of living adjustment, expanded funding for community schools, funding to offset some of the special education costs, and a new batch of one-time funds are some of the larger highlights. We will present a detailed budget on June 11th. The enrollment team is actively preparing for the 26-27 school year with a focus on transitional kindergarten and kindergarten registration. Supporting the process for our youngest learners ensures families can enroll easily and school sites can quickly welcome students into the school community. The team is hosting weekly enrollment events on Wednesdays at Donaldson Way Elementary School, providing American Canyon families with convenient in-person assistance from our enrollment specialists. Napa Valley is known worldwide for their incredible food options. These options have recently been expanded with the hiring of our new food services director, Dustin Walker. Under Mr. Walker's direction, food services, also known as Napa's Operative for School Food Service Health, or NOSH, recently started catering for school events. The food is simply incredible. NVUSD students and now NVUSD employees are very lucky to have NOSH in the house. In maintenance and grounds, they've begun preparing for this year's graduations and started preparations for summer projects. In operations, they are also preparing for promotions, graduations, end of the year cleaning, summer site moves. Custodial teams continue daily cleaning while preparing campuses for upcoming events and summer work. The warehouse department remains busy supporting sites through ongoing deliveries of custodial supplies, tables, chairs, and equipment needed for promotions and graduation across the district. In research, data, and assessment services, they would like to first start by thanking all the staff at school sites for their hard work with the state testing this window. We know it's a big, heavy lift for teachers, administrators, and all the other staff. In the technology department, they're very proud to have supported the state of the district last week, and they're gearing up for graduation ceremonies. A lot of work goes into these joyous events on the audiovisual side, and their team is very dedicated to doing whatever it takes to make sure everything goes smoothly. The transportation department has begun registering students for transportation services for 26-27 school year. They're also preparing for ESY and ELOP transportation. They're currently training new school bus drivers, or I should say, they're always training new bus drivers. It's constant, and they're saluting a few retiring school bus drivers. This concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Manguala. President Chu, that concludes staff reports for the evening.
Okay, we are on to H4, Facilities and Bond Program Update.
All right. Well, trustees, Dr. Massetti, thank you for having me back as always. We are here today to talk about a GMP that's coming to board for approval for the playgrounds and courtyard projects.
What is it, GMP?
Oh, a guaranteed maximum price. So as you know, with our lease-back partners, we develop a bid package that goes out in addition that also covers some contingencies and allowances for the projects that make it a little bit more certain on what that pricing is. Barring major unforeseen conditions, we're generally able to meet that budget according to what our partners develop. So in this case, this project's pretty substantial. It covers a lot of different elements and at different campuses. So you see here all the campuses that are going to touch this guaranteed maximum price by core. Next slide. There we go.
And so this project is really a catch-all for a lot of some of a pretty broad range of projects. And so what we decided to do with it is group them all together to get better pricing and get better management. So the architect for this group of projects is Motive Studio. The contractor is Core West. You may recall Core worked on some of our summer work last summer. And so the scope of work includes play structure replacement at 6 schools, courtyard improvement at 3, some site work that's required from DSA, bathroom repairs at Vichy, parking lots at Silverado Middle School, front of campus fencing at Silverado Middle School, and a parking lot at Vichy. Next slide, please.
I also like to highlight that Motive Studio is a Napa business, so kind of cool. And ownership, it has kids in Napa schools, so very vested. There'll be a play structure going in his kid's school, so. So in addition to that schedule, this is a really unique project with lots of different milestones as part of the schedule. We will be beginning construction on the courtyards during the summer with a push to get as much progress as possible, especially at Phillips and McPherson because they're so kind of central to the campus. The goal is to get the noisy demolition, all the hauling out and all of that work done. And then whatever's remaining will fence and have path of travel routes for students and teachers. Same goes for Silverado. Silverado's a little bigger. It might take a little bit longer, but also a little less problematic because of its location. And that work will go beyond the summer but get started. Parking lots are a priority to get done during the summer. So that work is going to take place and complete so that parents are not angry with us at the beginning of school if they can't drop off their kids. And then along with that, bleeding all the way into the spring, so this time next year, we'll be working on a kind of round robin schedule with the different sites that get their play structures. So what to be clear about is we're not closing anyone's play structure for an entire year. We're going to be landing at a site, doing the improvements, leaving and going to a different site, but that could take up to a year to get all of that accomplished. So all part of one contract and one plan. All right, you want to speak to existing conditions?
I think some of these pictures you've seen in our bond. So this is just the condition of some of our play structures that are in very poor condition. Next slide. This is the courtyard at Phillips. It looks like this was an old stage. There's rebar that pokes through. And so again, we're looking forward to redoing this. Next slide. So McPherson, also similar condition, and in the center, there's a big kind of blank spot. There were portables there in the middle, and so when we did the campus mod that last summer, there were portables that were removed. It never really had pavement around it, so you can see it's in some desperate need of some work there. Next slide. Silverado, very substantial work, very excited to completely reimagine what this quad could look like at Silverado. Next slide. Along with the parking lot at Silverado, next slide, and the parking lot at Vichy by our solar panels. Next slide. Go ahead.
So quickly to take you through each campus and what you can expect. Browns Valley is going to receive a new play structure focused on the little ones, so it's in the TK Kinder area. Next slide.
McPherson, as you can see, gets a lot of work in this package. So they're going to get a whole new imagining of their interior quad, which includes outdoor learning areas, lunch areas, and play areas. Additionally, they had 2 different play structure sites that were in very bad disrepair according to our evaluation. So they're getting 2 new play structures and a whole new quad. Lots of excitement.
All right.
Over at Northwood, we are going to be doing a new play structure area for the littler kids at Northwood as well. Next slide. All right, and at Phillips, as you saw, that interior courtyard area between the classroom wings is going to get completely reimagined, as well as a very large play area with a structure and then a secondary area with a swing set. Swing sets were very important to the Phillips community.
Especially Albert's kids.
Yeah, lots of vested interest in this one. All right, so Pueblo Vista receives a large area that actually has 3 different play elements. So there are going to be 2 new structures as well as a swing set there. Also, you can see from the location, also located next to our little ones. All right, next slide. All right, Silverado, really exciting. Silverado gets an all-new quad area, new lower parking lot, recoding of the upper parking lot, and fencing at the front of campus to kind of funnel folks into a single point entry. All right, Vichy, whew. I know. Vichy is getting a whole new parking lot with new routing for pickup and drop off. There is also an area of restrooms at Vichy that have not been used or accessed in several years because of the problems with accessibility and maintenance and things like that. So those are going to get redone, which is going to really help the additional kids heading over to Vichy, so more restroom access. And then in addition to that, they're going to be getting a new play structure area as well. All right, so it's a big number, but we're going to touch a lot of different areas, and it's going to be really transformative for a lot of campuses, so that's pretty exciting. The big scopes of work, as I mentioned, courtyards, playgrounds, and then necessary site improvements would cover some of those conditions like the deteriorating parking lots and things like that. All right, this is a fun, you want to do the fun one? Yeah.
All right, so this is a good part. So these are rendering, they're conceptual, it's not exact, so I'll be the bummer in the room a little bit, but we can't wait for the final product. We did model them after we saw an American Canyon, isn't it the same
team, yeah.
So, yeah, same team working on it. So this is Phillips, again, a rendering of it. Next slide. McPherson, wow, I can't see any tan bark, what happened to it all? It's amazing. McPherson, sorry, I had to go backward. Silverado. I mean, you want to go back and look at that again? I did. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, yeah. And then again with the parking lot and the drive up there, just looking at the drive and just the new path of travel there, it's going to be spectacular. Real grass? No, it'll be turf. Yeah, turf. Yeah.
It'll stay.
So spectacular projects and a spectacular number too. So both together.
That's great. That's so wonderful. I loved all those pictures.
We're very excited. We're very excited, but just as a reminder, this is not a Summer Slam project where you're like, wow, this is gonna be done. We're gonna be doing ribbon cuttings in the fall. It's something where parts of it will be done in the fall, like the parking lots, right? And we could even it's possible that we could get some of the play structures done this summer. We are targeting, by the way, in terms of the sequence, we're targeting the lowest grade level to start first, meaning TK, we're gonna start first. Because we know a lot of them for our TK students, it's really the only area they have to play. So we're gonna do our best, but it is really kind of outside of our control there. But then again, when this work is done, this is the kind of work that people really like. I mean, paint's nice, HVAC is nice, but this is the kind of fun work that people like. So we're super excited. Very visual, yeah.
Lots of ribbon cuttings in the fall.
Yes, that's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, we are now on to item I, approval of consent agenda. Background information on these items is provided to the board prior to the meeting. A common motion takes action without discussion on roll call vote unless discussion of items is requested by a board member. May I get a motion?
Move to approve?
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Villegas-Hart. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There are no public comments on this item.
All right, Ms. Morales, may I have a roll call vote?
Yes, Student Board Member Fish Leader,
Aye.
Trustee Shu,
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares,
Aye.
Trustee Villegas Hart,
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz,
Aye.
Trustee Martin,
Aye.
Trustee Water,
Aye.
Trustee Reiser.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
All right, on to item J, presentations and discussion items. J1, general services. J1A, recognition of student board members.
All right, so good evening, trustees. It's an honor to come up here to the podium. And tonight we have the honor, our annual tradition of recognizing our students who did a year-long investment of serving in the capacity of student board trustee and alternate. And just so that the community is aware, there's a rigorous selection process. Our students have to interview for this. They have to go through the selection process. They have to engage in training. And then our primary board member has to be here 1 to 2 times a month. And also be present in many, many of the advisory structures that we have in order to gather student input. And what I'm really proud of over the course of the last couple of years is the degree of collaboration that our student trustee, in this case, Hudson Fischlater, have done in terms of engaging and collaborating with our alternate and providing them the opportunity to also be present at the dais and weigh in through the formal structure of the board meeting, and also just stay in connection and collaboration in order to ensure that we're tapping into as much student voice and influence and impact as possible. So tonight, I'm just going to deliver the awards. I'm going to provide the board with the opportunity to recognize and speak to both of you for your leadership in your service over the course of the last year, because really you are a member of this governance team, and there's 7 of them and the 2 of you, and it's an honor to work alongside the 7 of them, and it's a very, very special honor to work alongside 2 extraordinary young people like yourself. So I know your parents had to leave, I think. Was that them? I'm so sorry. I saw them leave, but hopefully they'll be able to see the video. So I just want to take a moment. We'll start out with recognizing Hudson Fischlater, our 2025-2026 student board representative.
Yeah.
Do you have them typed up, or are you okay coming here at the podium? Okay. There you go.
Hopefully I don't knock this down while I'm saying it. Thank you. I want to thank you guys, all 7 of you. It has been an honor to sit with you guys the past year. I remember when I was interviewing for the position, I was panicked. I just gotten off a plane from Arizona from an internship with like no sleep. And I came into the waiting room and I was handed the questions and I was flipping through them and I was texting my mom like, Mom, like, what do I say? Like, I was so nervous. And so I walk into the boardroom and I see Trustee Hart and I see Trustee Water, and I was like, all right, I got a game plan. And then Trustee Water starts asking follow-up questions and I'm like, well, there goes my game plan. Like, I don't know what I'm going to say now. Like, and so I remember walking out and I was like, I don't know, Mom, I don't think I'm gonna get this. Like, Dad, like, I don't know. And when I heard back, I was so excited to know that I would make a change in my community. And, you know, from working on the student councils at my school to the student advisory committee at the district, I've really seen how passionate some of the students here in the Valley are, wanting to help and asking me, hey, what can I do to help? Or, hey, what can I do to make a difference in my community? And I just say the same thing, which is show up and just put a smile on your face and everything will work out. And so, you know, as I stand here today, I'm excited for my future, and I know, congratulations to Zoe, I know you're gonna do amazing things. I'm excited to see what happens. And once again, just a huge thank you guys. It's been an honor. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Hudson. And now I'd like to take a moment to recognize the second the young person. Both of them are such great examples of our graduate portrait here in the district. And so we want to thank Zoe Greason, who has served as the alternate for the 25-26 school year and also done an extraordinary job. So thank you, Zoe.
Hi, I just wanted to say thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I never thought, like, starting high school that I would be able to be on the NVUSD Board of Education. It's been such a cool experience, and I know I only got to meet with you guys twice, but both times was really cool, and I really like seeing, like, what happens behind the scenes. And yeah, I just want to say thank you so much.
Trustees, would you guys like to make some comments? Trustee Water?
Well, Trustee Fischleiter, your memory of your interview is not at all similar to mine. I remember a terrifyingly poised young person coming in and answering the questions very smoothly, so smoothly that when he left, I looked at Trustee Hart and said, maybe I should just resign right now and let him take over, So, and I knew you'd be a wonderful representative, and you were. And, and this goes for both of you. For Trustee Geeson, you did show up twice because he hardly ever missed a meeting, but you were very effective when you appeared. You had plenty of things to report. You could follow the agenda, which is some nights more than I could do. But having both of you on the board, it's fun to get the younger perspective. And I was, kind of feeling sentimental about it because, the excitement of, you all applying, both of you applying to colleges and getting into the schools you wanted to attend was fun. It was fun for me to see you go through that. And I know you'll be very happy at San Diego State University. And I told you all about it. You have to go look at the Edward Gorey papers. You'll love it, and it's a great school with historic buildings, and you're going to love Michigan. It's a great place for you. Both of you will be, visiting, in different communities, learning about different people, different places, meeting people from all over the world, really. And I couldn't be happier for you, and it's been a pleasure working with both of you. And I remember it was fun to go into my grocery store, and Zoe was working there. And then you left and went to work for a nonprofit, which is you work with one of my very favorite people, Eduardo. So I was so happy to hear that. And both of you have a very bright future, and stay in touch. You know where to find me. And if in October you get kind of hungry or homesick, let me know, and I'll send you a box of chocolate chip cookies.
I know. Trustee Jankowicz?
Well, she always can just speak so beautifully, and I always have to write everything out. But Hudson and Zoe, thank you for your outstanding service as our student board members. You have represented the voices of our students with thoughtfulness, integrity, and remarkable poise. Your leadership, insight, and commitment to this role have truly been exceptional, and you set a powerful example of what is possible in our youth, and I mean that. It's been a privilege to serve alongside you and to witness your dedication to your student community. Thank you for the care and intentionality you brought to this work and for being such good leaders. And congratulations on your graduation. Best wishes as you guys begin your next chapter. And if this first chapter is any indication, your future will be filled with purpose and meaningful impact. Standing ovation, you two.
Trustee Villegas-Hart?
Hi, guys. I can't see Zoe. She's so tiny. Scoot over a little bit. There you go. Now I can see you. I just want to thank both of you. Hudson, I sat in that room with Trustee Water, and one after another, the kids that came through that door to interview with us were all outstanding, and you too among them. And it was really a tough decision for Cindy and I to narrow it down to who do we want to represent out of this grouping. So I just want to say thank you to both of you for your time, your efforts, for your attention to detail. I know it's not easy. I know we keep you here late sometimes, and you got school tomorrow, but you've done a great job, both of you, and thank you very much.
Trustee Reiser?
Well, I echo the sentiments of my colleagues, and I will just add that I want to thank you for the earnestness with which you took on this commitment. It is a big commitment, and Hudson, we worked with you more, but we got to have Zoe here for 2 meetings also, and we really do rely heavily on student voice because you're our customers. You're the reason that all of us are here and working on behalf of you and your classmates and your younger peers. And so I feel very lucky that we have a board that has a student trustee. Not all school boards do that. And you just make us look really good because you come in here with incredible eloquence and maturity and presence. And as I said, just an earnest commitment to what you signed up for, which is to be a bridge between the school district, the leadership and the student body, and really the pipeline for information. And we really rely on and take to heart what you share and offer with us. It's a treat to once you're not president anymore, and then you move back down to the end of the dais. And it's such a treat to come down and be the neighbor of the student board member. I've really enjoyed sitting down here with both of you. And we're just going to be cheering you on graduation day. And don't forget to come back at the end and take a picture with us if you want to, and cheering you on afterwards. Bright futures for both of you at University of Michigan and San Diego State. So congratulations and thank you.
Trustee Gonzalez-Morris.
I'll be short and sweet. When I came back from maternity leave, I was just so impressed with this reception of a handwritten note by you, Hudson, and just your excitement of being on the board. And I just thought, what a level of professionalism. And you could tell that you had taken the time to reflect to what was your role going to be. Maybe you didn't know exactly what to expect, but that's okay. That's part of the journey. And that it really felt like a partnership working with you. And so really appreciate you on that, and just keep paying attention to those details and your level of professionalism. And to Zoe, I know you came to our board meetings a couple of times and trying to pick up where maybe your peer left off, and you just did excellent. Again, your ability to join us, learn, and I always appreciate sitting where Trustee Reiser is, because it's always really nice to be able to talk to the student trustee and sort of guide you through, like, okay, go ahead now, do this. It's all right. That's your job, and it's a process. So it seems like you both learned so much, and that you also, as much as you gave us, we were able to receive, and we appreciate that so much from you.
Trustee Martin.
Future's in good hands.
That's great. Well, I have to make this a little bit personal. So I joined the board 6 years ago because of my older son, and you guys are exactly his age. So in essence, I did it for you guys also. So I feel like this graduating class are my children. So I really am very proud of all of your accomplishments and showing us what the graduate portrait really embodies is within you. So congratulations, and thank you so much, both of you, for being on the board and toughing out all of our meetings. Okay. We're going to take some photos, and then we're going to take a few minute breaks right after that, so we'll come back after our break. All right, and we are back. We are now on to item J3, Instructional Services, J3A, Community Schools.
Good evening, President Chu, members of the board, Dr. Musetti, and the NVUSD community. Tonight, we are excited to provide an overview and progress update on NVUSD's community schools implementation. We will highlight how this work aligns with Vision 2040, supports wellness and belonging, and strengthens family and community partnerships across our district. Next slide, please. Tonight's presentation reflects a collaborative effort across departments and school sites. I will present alongside Dr. Alejandro Uribe, our Director of Multilingual Learner Services and Parent Engagement, Roxana Plancarte, Coordinator of Student Wellness and Support, Drew Herron, Coordinator of Student Welfare and Attendance, and Ryan Stroll, Community Schools Program Administrator. We have, along with that, we have the opportunity to hear from two students and at our next presentation around health and wellness, our board trustees. So I'm excited to include some student voice. We have 6 community schools spanning 2 cohorts. Next slide, please. Cohort 1 started in 2022-2023 with McPherson, Phillips, Snow, and Shear TK8. Cohort 2 schools started in 23-24 with Silverado Middle School and Valley Oak High School. It is also a pleasure to present alongside the staff members because in the spirit of community schools, this is a collaborative effort across our internal and external partners. Next slide, please. Oops, one more, go backwards, sorry. Okay. Tonight's presentation has 3 primary objectives. Demonstrate the alignment between the California Community Schools Framework and NVUSD's Vision 2040 strategic plan. Highlight implementation progress connected to Strategy 4 and Strategy 10, and introduce how our community schools model is evolving into 26-27. Throughout the presentation, we will emphasize how community schools serves as a framework that brings together wellness, academics, family engagement, and student supports into one coordinated system. Next slide. Our community schools work is deeply grounded in Vision 2040. This vision reminds us that we are preparing students not only for academic success, but also to become confident, compassionate, and adaptable adults who advocate for themselves and their community. Community schools help operationalize this vision by creating the systems and conditions students need to thrive. Next slide. The California Community Schools Framework defines a community school as a school using a whole child approach with an integrated focus on academics, health and social services, youth development, and family and community engagement. California has invested over $1.4 billion statewide into community schools as a school improvement strategy. The purpose is not to create one more initiative, but to help districts organize and align supports around the needs and strengths of students and families. In NVUSD, this includes coordinating wellness services, family partnerships, expanded learning opportunities, and academic supports into one integrated system. Next slide. The Napa Valley Unified School District is deeply committed to fostering environments where every student thrives. By intentionally intersecting the community schools framework with a Vision 2040, the district ensures that holistic student support is not a siloed initiative, but a foundational driver of our long-term strategic direction. Before hearing from our schools, we will walk you through the alignment between community schools and Vision 2040. Next slide, please. The California Community Schools Framework, often called the 4x4 model, provides the structure guiding implementation across the sites. The framework includes 4 pillars, 4 key conditions of learning, 4 cornerstone commitments, and 4 proven practices. At the center are the 4 pillars: collaborative leadership, integrated student supports, expanded learning opportunities, and active family engagement. Tonight, we will focus on 2 pillars: integrated student supports and active family engagement. Next slide, please. One important message we want to emphasize tonight is that community schools is not one more initiative. The proven practices align to the strategic planning at both the site and district level. It serves as a framework that helps align our school plans for student achievement, LCAP priorities, wellness initiatives, MTSS structures, and family engagement efforts. The proven practices shown on this slide include asset mapping, advisory councils, and community schools coordinators. These help strengthen coherence across the district. This alignment allows us to focus more intentionally on equitable outcomes and coordinated systems of support. Next slide, please. Another important connection is the alignment between NVUSD's core values and the community schools framework. You can see strong connections between core values around relationships and belonging, partnership and collaboration, student agency, and continuous improvement. This alignment reinforces that community schools implementation is directly connected to the values already guiding our district work. Next slide, please. Community schools also align closely with NVUSD's system portrait. In particular, there is strong alignment around inclusivity and belonging, and family and community involvement. This work helped create systems where families and students feel seen, heard, and valued in their school communities. Next slide, please. At the center of this work is a role adults play in creating welcoming, equitable, and relationship-centered school communities. Community schools require adults who are equity-focused, relationship-centered, compassionate communicators, collaborative problem solvers. This work depends on authentic relationships and a culture of care across schools and district systems. As we transition from the framework into implementation, I'd now like to turn it over to our coordinator, Roxana Plancarte.
Thank you, Dr. Reddy. Our 26-27 community schools model is grounded in the 4 pillars of the California Community Schools Framework: collaborative leadership, integrated student supports, extended learning opportunities, and family and community engagement, which together help us guide the systems, structures, and practices we are building across NVUSD. This work helps us strengthen systems of support. Next slide, please, sorry. This work helps us strengthen systems of support, cross-department collaboration, family partnerships, wellness, and academic coordination. It also supports the district's ongoing efforts to align community schools implementation with Vision 2040 and MTSS. Today's presentation specifically will highlight the alignment between Strategy 4, cultivate a culture of belonging throughout NVUSD, Strategy 10, establish a system-wide approach for family and community engagement. As we move through the next section of the presentation, we will share examples of how community schools implementation is supporting these district-wide priorities across our cohort schools. One important area where this coordinated work is making an impact is attendance. I will now turn it to Drew Herron, who will share how community school sites are strengthening attendance systems and reducing barriers to student engagement.
Thank you. All right, thank you. Good evening. So the pillar that we are looking at here is the one about individualized integrated supports, and that focuses on creating and coordinating systems. Thank you. There we go. It focuses on creating systems of care and address barriers to learning. So as Dr. Reddy mentioned earlier, this is looking at the whole child, academic interventions, behavioral and wellness interventions, attendance supports, and just that basic needs coordination. And the goal here is for students to receive the right level of support at the right time through those coordinated systems rather than those individual interventions. So looking at some data here in that focus around Strategy 4, we have, since we've started with our community schools, we've seen lots of improvement with our attendance. Going across here in the final area there of 25-26, that's through month 9, which is April 17th. So the growth that we've had, I'm very proud of the hard work that we've done. In reducing our chronic absenteeism. Just many of these sites have really taken some interesting strategies that hopefully we can scale to other sites. So this work really reflects the work among the collaboration among site administrators, attendance team, wellness staff, and counselors and families. So just take a look at a few schools here and just some of their work they've done. With McPherson, the staff focused on strengthening relationship with students and families to better understand those barriers of attendance. Their attendance team were administrators, wellness staff, and support personnel, and they focused on the student check-ins, phone calls with families, home visits. I know that they've done a lot of home visits and start meetings with families just to really talk about and get some feedback from them, as well as help introduce them to the systems we have. And through these conversations, transportation, childcare, and understanding procedures emerged as those common barriers. So they really expanded and added preventive supports through early morning childcare with ACE, expanded after school programs with Boys and Girls Club, attendance celebrations, and MTSS and culture and climate. We look at their attendance now compared to this time last year, they are down 8.7%, which is amazing. Their celebrations, I know we shared the video at the county board meeting. Whenever I'm having a bad day, I put that on, and that puts a smile on my face watching elementary kids do fist pumps for free Jamba Juice. But this what they've implemented there is on the left side of the presentation. They have a theme every 4 weeks, and that theme they get to color in a letter for each day that their classroom has 90% or better as a class. And once they complete that letter, they fold it up and it goes into drawing. And it's been amazing just to see the transformation of the culture at their school, not just with the students and the parents, and just what they've picked up from listening to their families. So lessons learned from this is that improving attendance requires strong relationships, and they've shown that, and really building that trust with their families. So Phillips started this very same thing that McPherson's doing the year before, and they had their focus to really focus on the multiple tier 1 and 2 strategies to strengthen attendance. And they brought this to their ELACs, to their site council. They introduced that same monthly incentives. You can see in the picture, the class that won got a free pumpkin pie right before Thanksgiving. And really kind of dived into their SART meetings and really were able to make lots of improvement. They have this sandwich board out in front of the school every day at pickup, and it shows the class level each month what their attendance percentage is. And it's not like they're trying to show and put it in the parents' face, like, we got to get this, but it just creates some awareness and some pride, and they can see it go up and down. I know students are checking this too, so they're having that awareness. Might even just motivate them that little bit more to come to school, and maybe they weren't feeling 100%. All right, and the last one here is Silverado Middle School. They decided they were going to really try to build something and focus on relationship-centered attendance work. They took all their students who were in that 84 to 90% range, so on the cusp of being chronically absent, and they divide them into groups, and they started calling. And they divide them into groups between the social workers, administrators, counselors, parent liaison, and started as like a 4-week outreach. And it started off with calling the parents, and then they next week checked in with the students, and then they sent postcards home, and then they had these small group SART meetings. And what they found is that there was a lot of success. And just kind of going back to that relationship piece, one little story about that. Mrs. Aaron at Silverado had a student come to her with the postcard she wrote and said, "My mom was so proud she put this on Facebook." But the kid's like, "I want it." She's like carrying it in her backpack because she's proud of it. And it just kind of shows those little things that didn't cost a whole lot. It was like a small snapshot in time, and the student learned that, hey, my teacher believes with me. I'm excited about school. It's those relationships are the things that when we talk about community schools, that it's not just a a student thing, it's also a parent thing. So now I'm now going to turn it over to Dr. Uribe.
All right, so good evening. So in my role, I have the privilege of supporting community schools through the Family and Community Engagement Pillar. And this pillar recognizes that families are partners, right? We can't do the work without them. And it really emphasizes the importance of building trusting relationships between school sites and parents, creating a welcoming environment for all, ensuring multilingual and accessible communication for all the sites, providing meaningful opportunities for participation and voice, and then valuing the strengths and experiences and perspectives families bring to school communities and doing that every day. Rather than viewing family engagement as participation in isolated events, this pillar encourages schools to create ongoing systems for collaboration, dialogue, and shared leadership. It's not a one and done. At the center of this work is the belief that strong relationships between schools, families, and community partners help strengthen belonging, student engagement, and overall student success. So as we think about the long-term vision for family engagement in NVUSD and Strategy 10, which is something that I'm working with Chris Reddy, it's really important to look at involvement and engagement and leadership and looking at it as a continuum. When we think about involvement, we think about all the opportunities that we create to get parents to come to school, right? And their participation, their attendance matters. But we want to move into the engagement piece where we actually get to see and experience their voice, where we're creating opportunities for them to share their voice, and that voice ends up in an agenda or an event that was planned, as part of a community builder. And also an approach such as street data, which you'll hear from Ryan Stroll in a little bit, where we get to provide opportunities for empathy interviews and listening-centered practices, where we have families share their experiences with our schools so that we get that perspective that's needed. The long-term goal is shared leadership, where families are not just attending the events and not just engaging, but also sharing the leadership role with the staff, and where we're co-designing, facilitating, and helping lead school and community events. So what you see on the screen here is we're seeing a lot of engagement from our parents and community school sites and how we're growing family participation and connection through a variety of opportunities. Together, the sites have documented over 3,700 instances where parents are participating. Examples include literacy workshops, parent conferences, technology trainings, parent leadership opportunities, and family learning nights, just to name a few. These numbers reflect growing relationship building, intentional events that are being built, and ongoing engagement with families across the school. One approach with helping guide the next phase of family engagement is street data, which centers listening, relationships, and lived experiences to strengthen equity and engagement efforts. I would like now to call Ryan Stroll, who is a community schools program administrator, who will share how SHEER TK8 has been implementing street data practices through their partnership with the Center of Educational and Innovation.
Hi, board. I'm Ryan, community school guy for SHEER. I'm really proud to share our work at the school. I'm really proud of our community. Those numbers up there don't include our Dia del Nino, which might have 700 more number of folks up there. There's too many to count. How do I advance this slide? Okay, there we go. Okay. As part of our strengthening authentic engagement and equity-centered practices, SHEER TK8 partnered with the Center for Educational Innovation, or CEI, to engage in a street data inquiry cycle. Street data centers the lived experience of students at the margins to better understand the barriers that are at the root of school transformation. This application came across your desk about a year ago. Thank you for approving it. Allowed us to enter into this work. And all the field trips, thanks for approving those too. At Shear, the focus of this work was on long-term English language learners, or LTEL students, who were also experiencing chronic absenteeism, a barrier to attendance. And through 5 empathy interviews and generative dialogue structures, the team intentionally created opportunities for students to share their experiences, their challenges, and perspectives. And some important themes emerged through this work. None of them a surprise. Students identified trusted adult relationships as critical to their sense of belonging and engagement. Students shared that feeling seen, heard, and connected at school directly impacted their motivation to attend and participate. Staff gained a deeper understanding of the importance of listening-centered practices and relational trust. And this process helped shift conversations away from compliance-based approaches and toward empowerment, student voice, and authentic partnership. This is a picture of our community circle that took place less than a month ago. Thank you, Chris Reddy, for taking pictures for us. That was awesome. This work that we did provided several important reflections and learnings for the Shear team. One major takeaway was that student voice creates powerful opportunities for engagement. They love doing this stuff. It creates ownership, connection, and leadership within the school community. Another important reflection was that equity-centered work requires curiosity, courage, inclusion, and trust in the process. This type of work takes time and depends on creating safe spaces for honest dialogue and reflection. As Shear looks ahead, the team plans to continue moving from simply gathering data toward co-creating solutions with students and families. Future plans include launching parent listening circles, building capacity within our student leadership through a cool school equity cycle, 3 of them, 1 per trimester, looping that cool school equity cycle work into the Cafecito presentations and co-generation with parents on Fridays, and then building a school culture grounded in belonging, trust, and relational equity. My feeling is that over time, the vision is that through these small actions and equity cycles and student-centered inquiry, a culture of care emerges where students and families know that we are a place that puts students at the center. And to quote, and I'm really proud of this, our 8th grade student, Charlotte May, one of our students who traveled all over California, Santa Clara twice, Long Beach just last week. She was in a circle with all these educators all across the state. When she had this mic drop moment, she said, "I think students this year were surprised to be listened to, but I hope they get used to it." I know, right? I get chills. As we conclude tonight's presentation, I'd now like to turn it back over to Roxana, thank you, who will now share how NVUSD is continue to strengthen and evolve our community schools model for the 26-27 school year. Thanks, Roxana.
As we look ahead to 26-27 school year, our focus is on continuing to strengthen the sustainability, consistency, and alignment of our community schools. There. One major priority moving forward is creating stronger coherence between the California Community Schools Framework, Vision 2040, MTSS, and the NVUSD Health and Wellness Framework, so that systems of support are better integrated district-wide. The next phase of implementation will also focus on strengthening consistency across school sites while still allowing flexibility to respond to the unique community needs. Community school program administrators like Ryan will continue playing a key role in system development, strategic alignment, coordinating implementation efforts, supporting family and community engagement structures, aligning wellness, attendance, and student support systems. As implementation expands, we are also focused on building structures that are sustainable and can be expanded to additional school sites over time. Ultimately, this work is about continuing to create coordinated systems where students feel connected, families feel valued, and schools are equipped to respond to the academic, wellness, and engagement needs of the whole child. Thank you for your time and your partnership, and we appreciate the board's continued support of our community school sites implementation, and we now welcome any questions or discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we go to board comments, I'm going to ask for public comment. I have one speaker card here from Alyssa Abdo.
Good evening, President Chu, trustees, Dr. Musetti, and district staff. I want to begin by thanking NVUSD staff for tonight's presentation and for continuing to invest in community schools as an important strategy for supporting students and families. In 2008, more than 18 years ago, and long before community schools became a formal state initiatives, our organizations were already working together to build school campuses that functioned as centers of connection, support, leadership, wellness, and opportunities for families. I want to tell you about what I think of as an essential part of community schools, family resource centers. The Family Resource Centers operated by On the Move are not separate from the community schools work. They are a core part of the infrastructure that helps make the model operational for families every day. The FRCs help turn the vision of community schools into practical daily support for families by creating trusted, relationship-based spaces where families can access coordinated services, strengthen their connection to school, build leadership skills, and engage more fully in their children's education. Through the FRCs, families receive support navigating housing instability, immigration concerns, financial hardship, mental health stressors, and other barriers that directly impact student success and engagement. At the same time, the FRCs create opportunities for parents to volunteer on campuses, participate in wellness and education programs, engage in school leadership, and build stronger relationships with school staff, community partners, and one another. Over many years, that partnership has evolved far beyond direct services. In partnership with NVUSD, OTM built many of the structures that now support community schools implementation across the district. This has included helping develop and secure the original community schools grants, supporting the creation of the Community School Steering Committee, facilitating cross-site collaboration and planning, developing coordinated family engagement strategies across campuses, supporting school community partnerships, and helping create systems that connect students and families to resources and opportunities. What has made this partnership successful is that both organizations have continued to invest deeply in this work. Over the last several years, On the Move has helped to bring more than $500,000 annually in outside community investment into NVUSD schools to support this model and strengthen supports for students and families connected to this work. We are proud of what has been built together over many, many years, and we remain committed to continuing this partnership in ways that genuinely value community-based partnership, recognize the contributions that partner organizations and families have made in this work, and continue centering students, families, and authentic community voice as core drivers of community school success.
Thank you for your comment. Mr. Michaels, any public comments online?
There are no public comments on this item.
Okay. Trustees, any comments or questions? Trustee Water?
I've seen the Family Resource Centers. I've been to Shearer School. I've been to the family nights when all the nonprofits turn up, with information. And it's fun, there's food and, it's really enjoyable. I've been there on magnet nights and was impressed at the parent turnout and at the program indeed. And the Family Resource Centers are valuable. People come in and stop in all the time and get information. And I was a PTA parent at that school years and years ago, and I think we've just come such a long way to getting the general public, more involved in the school. And the neighborhood, frankly, we know it's a high poverty school, and there were people in the neighborhood. The former principal, sort of did a survey, an informal survey, and some people in the neighborhood were frightened of some of the children, and I can't imagine. They're just kids, but they've gotten more used to the idea of the fact that we have people in the community that are not wealthy, and they have a tendency to go to certain schools. They have a right to go to those schools. We have children who've graduated from those schools, gone on to high school, and accomplished terrific things. It's a great little student body, And they got lots of fire and pep. And, you know, I really do support the work. I think that, you know, and I want us to continue this. You know, we're moving in the right direction. The one thing I'm interested in is when elementary school students don't show up for school. I mean, I know what older kids are up to when they're not at school, but I have an idea. But when elementary age kids are truant, what are they doing? Do you have any idea? Are they just staying home and, you know, watching videos or what?
They're babysitting the high school students.
They're babysitting the high school students.
No, when they're usually they're home with like older siblings that's one of the reasons we see kids not going to the high schools or middle schools, because they're taking care of the younger kids.
Right.
Or they're home with their parents. I don't see or hear too much that they're by themselves, because they are, you know, especially those primary,
right,
those ages. But if they're home, there's typically going to be older sibling that's with them.
Okay. Maybe some families have a culture of truancy.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. I'm just kind of curious, but I go over there and I'm impressed at the family atmosphere, you know, and the positivity at Shearer School. Okay. So thank you for your work.
Trustee Jankowicz?
Well, Trustee Water, I know you'll understand how I look at this when I was writing this down. This work is like opening a new book. At first, turning the pages can feel uncertain, sometimes a little difficult, but when students and families begin to feel connected and supported, even inspired, schools become a place where they want to return every day. So our responsibility, what you're doing, is to help create that sense of belonging so that every student sees their future in the story that's being written as they go to school. And that's the importance of the work that you're doing, because when that happens, attendance, engagement is no longer an expectation. I think it becomes a purpose for those kids. And so the work that you're doing is foundational. It's nuanced, it's hard to build relationships, it takes time, and it takes a special understanding, because how you build those relationships, I think, changes on the daily. So I love that you are willing to have such a broad approach and a broad understanding of the work, and that you don't make it myopic and so rigid and guardrails that you don't allow it to evolve as it should evolve, because that's how it will capture families and capture students. So thank you.
Trustee Reiser? Or
Go ahead. I really appreciated this comprehensive overview. It's very heartening to really get this understanding of what a comprehensive approach this is, and just to know that the state really put their money where their mouth is with this program, and that we're optimistic that that funding is even expanding, which makes me just even more excited. So I don't have any questions. I just wanted to thank you for what is evident, a really positive, collaborative team that you have here across all of our sites. And just to highlight how beautiful it is that the central focus is to make the students and their families feel connected and valued. Because obviously these schools are the schools with populations that have traditionally not felt valued. They have been marginalized and ignored. And so to have just a broad, systemic, funded approach that centers that, and is so purposeful and child-centered. And, you hear the phrase wraparound services, but this presentation just shows us and the community what that really means and looks like. Everything from school events in which, I was at the McPherson Back to School Night, and there were community partner tables all around the courtyard, and it was extremely well attended. So So to understand that the range of it goes from, are we getting those family touches at the school events that are not high demand or high stress, but are inviting and welcoming and connecting, both to the school staff and to each other in the community. And that sense and spirit was very evident at McPherson last night. And I'm just really grateful that we are getting the resources and the support and the guidance from the state and the expertise, the competence and at our local level of implementation. It's really exciting. And I'm very excited for the potential for funding expansion and expansion to more of our sites, because this is obviously really meaningful, impactful work. So thank you so much.
Trustee Gonzalez-Morris?
Thank you. Yeah, I think a lot of this work, right, we started it a long time ago, and either where it was structured or not structured, it's nice to see the flow of that. It's nice to see, I mean, right now we call it community schools. Who knows what in 10 years it's going to be called. It's just this constant movement and required involvement too, because funding changes, politics change, people change, the needs change too. But one thing that has been constant is that in many of these schools, the need has been the same, if not worse. And we have to have a much more careful consideration about what happens in some of these school sites. It's great to have the data. It's great to have the alignment, because we did work very hard with our strategic plan. We're still working very hard to get that data. It's one of the numbers I keep repeating in my conversations, is that, like 85% of our families, I think, feel connected, and our students too, and like they feel safe. And now with the political climate, especially affecting our immigrant community, which is in many of these school sites, have mentioned schools as their safe place. And so we have to continue to listen to that. And I know the team is doing that. And that's done with a lot of the work. And I agree with Trustee Water with the partnerships with the FRCs, because it takes more than just what we're offering. We like to just focus on education. That's what we're here for. But we know that when the kids are on our school sites, we have to understand that they're coming, maybe hungry. And now we have a food and nutrition program around this, right? And now, we're a big entity, and we also have a responsibility to understand the impact that we can, have the good and the sort of effects that can occur with what we do. I think this model it's exciting to hear, from a school site, the energy to come to the podium and express what that means, and that energy that flows with our students, to examples like just a postcard that can mean the world to a kid, to be seen. To me, it's so much better than the pumpkin pie to get that personalized touch that the student feels seen, right? And so it's all these little things. There's so much work out there, like it's not enough, right? So I really appreciate the presentation of the alignment, the opportunity to continue to understand from our end as trustees the complexity of it. And then also for us, just our responsibility to relay what we're hearing too, in terms of the importance of staying, on track and focused. And I think a lot is said here in terms of what we have in alignment, sustainability, consistency, and expansion. And those are big words, and it's a lot of work behind that. So I appreciate the work that's been done, and I know we have more to do.
Student Board Member Fish Leader.
So I just want to get something clear. If we go to school, we'll get like Jamba Juice and pumpkin pie. I just want to make that. Can we implement this at the high school level by any chance? Like, please.
Like the last couple weeks.
Just
leave me your address in Michigan, and I'll make sure you get it.
Please, I will. I expect the pies. No, seriously, I think the board said it best. Just community and engagement. I think that is the main criteria. I think that's something that in an ever-changing political and educational landscape, I think it's important to to connect both the student and the parent and the teacher and kind of create this educational triangle, so to speak. And so just to have an enlightenment here, it's impressive. Thank you, guys.
We may have to send some Jamba Juice over to Michigan. I just want to give a shout out to two of our principals here, Principal Phillips and Principal Montgomery, for being such leaders of McPherson and Shearer. Can really see the impact at those schools. I was just at, well, like Trustee Reiser said, I was at McPherson yesterday, and I now know why there were so many families at your open house. I mean, you had 2,000 parent participant instances. That's incredible and amazing. So kudos to you and all of our community schools for making it happen for the children. So thank you very much. Okay. All right. Next item is J3B, Health and Wellness Partnerships.
Okay, well, tonight we are excited to provide an overview of NVUSD's health and wellness work, with a particular focus on our social and emotional wellness domain within our new health and wellness framework. We will share how wellness centers, mental health supports, and community partnerships are working together to strengthen belonging, connection, and student success across our district. This work reflects a collaborative effort across our departments, school sites, and community agencies, all centered on supporting the whole child and ensuring students are future ready. Thank you to Student Board Member Fischleiter for elevating this important topic with his request. Tonight's presentation centers student voice, wellness, and the collaborative systems of support that help students feel connected, supported, and ready to learn. Joining me this evening, I have the pleasure of presenting again with Roxana Plancarte, our Coordinator of Student Wellness and Support, Tawani Satin, School Social Worker, Christy Johnston, School Social Worker, and Sanaya Chandan, American Canyon High School student and Wellness Ambassador. In addition, this work reflects ongoing collaboration with district leaders, school site teams, wellness staff, and community partners across NVUSD. Together, these efforts support our district-wide vision of ensuring creating systems where students experience belonging, connection, and access to care while preparing them for college, career, and life. We also have the pleasure of inviting up this evening to join us Student Board Member Fischleiter to share his experience with some of our community partners and in our schools. The objective of tonight's presentation is to provide an overview of three pieces: the social and emotional wellness domain within our health and wellness framework, our secondary wellness center model, and the coordinated systems of mental health supports and community partnerships that are helping us respond to student needs. Ultimately, this work is grounded in our district vision: belonging today, future ready tomorrow. Health and wellness is a core component of NVUSD's strategic plan. Our approach recognizes that student learning and student wellness are deeply connected. Students are more likely to engage academically when they feel emotionally safe, connected to adults, and supported with their school community. This work is not separate from academics. It is foundational to academic engagement, attendance, behavior, and long-term success. The NVUSD Health and Wellness Framework was developed to create a cohesive, sustainable, and system-wide approach to supporting students' well-being across the district. I want to thank Assistant Superintendent Dana Page for her facilitation of this process and partnership with MVA and CSEA, whose president is joining us this evening. At its core, the framework recognizes that health and wellness are not separate from learning. Students are more likely to engage, persist, and thrive academically when they feel safe, connected, supported, and healthy. The framework is intended to create the conditions that allow students to be successful both academically and socially. This work was developed collaboratively through a series of meetings and work groups that included staff with expertise in multiple areas connected to student wellness. The process focused on identifying shared priorities, student needs, and building a system that could be sustainable, equitable, and responsive across all school sites. The framework also emphasizes equity and access, student belonging and connectedness, family and community partnership, adult capacity, and data-informed decision-making. An important part of this framework is creating clarity and consistency across school sites so that students and families can more easily access supports and services without unnecessary barriers. At the same time, the framework allows flexibility for schools to respond to the unique needs of their communities. Overall, the Health and Wellness Framework serves as a foundation for how NVUSD organizes prevention, intervention, wellness supports, and partnerships in order to support the whole child. The structure of the Health and Wellness Framework is organized in two important ways: through dimensions of wellness and through a tiered system of supports aligned to MTSS. The framework is organized around four primary dimensions of wellness: physical wellness through exercise, physical wellness through nutrition, physical wellness through medical care, and social and emotional wellness. Within each dimension, the framework outlines guaranteed supports available to all students, instructional components, and additional services that may be provided based on resource availability. The framework is also structured through a tiered approach. Tier 1 focuses on universal prevention and supports available to all students. Tier 2 includes targeted intervention for students who may need additional supports beyond the universal level. And Tier 3 includes individualized and intensive supports. Now that we've provided an overview of the Health and Wellness Framework and how it is organized, Roxana will take us deeper into one dimension of the framework, social and emotional wellness, and share how these supports are being implemented across these tiers through our Wellness Center model and coordinated systems of supports across our secondary schools.
Thank you, Dr. Reddy. And I want to just clarify that our student representative today is Miguel. We had a change. Okay, so our social and emotional wellness supports are organized within a tier system. At Tier 1, we focus on universal supports available to all students. This includes our social and emotional learning curriculum, such as Second Step and Toolbox. It also includes restorative practices, trauma-informed classroom strategies, wellness spaces, and school-wide prevention efforts. We are also building staff capacity through behavioral support and increasing family awareness of social and emotional supports available at school sites. At Tier 2, we provide more targeted interventions for students needing additional support. These include small groups, mentoring, check-in and check-out systems, transition groups, and case management support for student populations such as our McKinney-Vento, who are students with unstable housing, and foster youth. At Tier 3, supports become more individualized and intensive. This includes clinical mental health interventions, crisis response, safety planning, and referrals to specialized community-based providers. This tier structure allows us to respond to varying levels of student need while maintaining prevention as a central focus. Our Wellness Center model is designed to create integrated systems of support within secondary schools. As we mentioned today, we now have 9 wellness centers across all of our middle and high schools. At the high school level, the staffing model includes a school social worker and a certified wellness coach. At the middle school level, the model expands to include our counselors. The goal is to provide layered support that addresses the academic, behavior, social, emotional, and mental health needs within one coordinated system. The wellness centers are intentionally prevention-focused and student-centered. They serve as spaces where students can regulate, connect, access support, and build relationships with trusted adults. The model also continues to evolve through student voice, data analysis, and community partnerships to ensure that it remains responsive to student needs. Social and emotional wellness plays a critical role in student success. Through implementation of our wellness centers and and integrated supports, we are seeing encouraging outcomes related to academic performance, attendance, and student engagement. Wellness centers increase equitable access to mental health and wellness services by bringing supports directly onto our school campuses. They help reduce barriers such as transportation, scheduling, costs, and navigating outside systems of care. Currently, approximately 3 out of 5 students visit the wellness centers every year, reflecting both increased access to services and also a growing normalization of help-seeking behavior among our students. As utilization continues to grow, these spaces are also helping reduce the stigma that we often associate with mental health. They help create safe and accessible environments where students feel connected to support. While systems and structures are essential, we know that student voice is equally important in creating school environments where students feel connected and supported. I will now introduce Twani Sutton, who is our school social worker at American Canyon High School, who will share how we are elevating student leadership and peer connection through the Wellness Ambassador Program at American Canyon High School.
Good evening. One important area of growth this year has been intentionally creating more opportunities for student voice in leadership in wellness. The Wellness Ambassador Program launched during the 2025-2026 school year at American Canyon High School and includes 9 student wellness ambassadors. The program is based on the California School-Based Health Alliance peer-to-peer framework and was designed to help students become active contributors to school wellness culture rather than only recipients of the support. A key part of this work is recognizing that students often turn to peers first when they are struggling. By building peer leadership and emotional awareness, we are helping to create school environments where students feel more comfortable seeking help, supporting one another, and talking openly about mental health and wellness. The program also helps students strengthen important social and emotional competencies such as self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship skills. The Student Ambassador Program strengthens connection, belonging, and trust within the school community. I will now bring up one of our student wellness ambassadors. This is Miguel Samayoa.
Good evening, everyone. I'm taking the place of Sonia Chandy because she was very busy. So, hi. Being a part of the Wellness Ambassador Program has helped students feel like their voices matter and that they can make a difference in creating a more supportive environment. Sometimes students feel more comfortable talking to another student before reaching out to an adult. This program will help create those connections and encourage students to support one another in positive ways. It has also helped normalize conversations around mental health and wellness. Students are starting to see that asking for support is not something to be embarrassed about, and it's actually more healthier than, not saying anything at all. As wellness ambassadors, we'll also help bring awareness to wellness activities, resources, and events on campus, which helps more students feel included and connected and not left out.
I am very proud of Miguel. He is a junior at American Canyon High School, and he's doing really awesome. Ultimately, student voice is essential to building sustainable wellness systems. When students are involved in shaping school culture and wellness efforts, supports become more relevant, approachable, and responsive to student needs. The work is helping us move beyond simply providing services and toward creating school communities where students feel connected, empowered, and valued. Student voice and peer connection are critical components of wellness and are strengthened through coordinated systems of support. Christy will now share more about the mental health program services and partnerships that help to expand access to care for students and our families.
Before Christy jumps in, we're going to have Student Board Member Fish Leader come to the mic and share.
Hi again. So before Christy steps in, I do want to talk a little bit about what I do at Mentis. I think you guys hear about it in my board reports. I heard Trustee Water talk a little bit about Teens Connect. So I'm standing here as one of the 20 Teens Connect council members. And I think one of the things we talked about with both the community schools presentation and especially with Mentis is the belonging of community and connection. And I think that's what Teens Connect does perfectly. There's 20 students, and as we so beautifully heard with the ambassador program at American Canyon, it's not a readily available program as fluently across the valley. Not every high school has that, but Teens Connect kind of provides all of what American Canyon has by having select members create events and work in peer mentoring and having a wellness cafe where students who don't know about the program or just see the events can come and attend and see what it's like. Because I think at the end of the day, having an adult kind of talk to you about what mental health is, I think is what kind of creates a little bit of the stigmatism. But having other students who are around the same age and understand what it's like to have external factors and external pressures that are everyday problems, I think is something that helps us relieve some of that stigmatism. And to speak on some of the other things, some of the other programs that are available within our community, I think the main thing that I want to touch on is that these programs are not a one-size-fits-all kind of program. I think there are so many different services that help so many different varieties of students, and I think with that, allowing them to have academic success and social success is honestly what makes our graduate portrait so cohesive and effective. Thank you.
Oh, great. I get to follow the totally charming student speakers. No pressure. You guys are amazing. It is why we do this work. My name is Christy. I'm the social worker at Phillips Elementary. Before I get into it, swings and a new courtyard. I'm so excited. This has helped my mental health. So thank you so much. The kids are going to love it. We're going to talk about some other mental health programs, though. So the mental health programs and services reflected on this slide are provided through a combination of NVUSD wellness staff and community-based partners working together to create a coordinated system of supports for students. Across our schools, NVUSD social workers, counselors, wellness coaches, and site staff provide brief intervention counseling, case management and care coordination, crisis response and safety planning, social emotional skill building groups, mentoring and transition supports, and wellness-centered prevention activities. In addition to district staff, community partnerships help expand access to more specialized services and increase the range of supports available to students and families. So for example, Mentis provides therapy services. They also do peer mentoring, we just heard about, and wellness programming. Aldea Children and Family Services provide drug and alcohol prevention and treatment services in addition to their therapy services. Stanford Sierra Youth and Families and Burnett Therapeutic Services provide school-based counseling and therapeutic supports. And News Domestic Violence and Sexual Abuse Services provide healthy relationship coaching and prevention education. We also implement evidence-based interventions such as cognitive behavioral intervention for trauma in school, or CBITS, which supports students impacted by trauma, and Bounce Back, which helps elementary school students build coping skills related to stress, anxiety, and emotional regulation. Many of these services focus not only on intervention, but also on prevention, empowerment, and connection. Programs such as Joven Noble, Mariposa, LGBTQ Connection, Where Everybody Belongs, Link Crew help students strengthen leadership skills, identity development, peer relationships, and school connectedness. Together, this coordinated model allows us to bring services directly onto school campuses, helping reduce barriers such as transportation, scheduling, and access to outside systems of care. It also helps normalize help-seeking behaviors and creates more opportunities for students to access support in environments where they already feel connected and safe. And we don't do it alone. Our community partnerships extend beyond mental health services and include organizations that support students and families with basic needs, healthcare access, and youth programs. These partnerships are important because student wellness is closely connected to family and community well-being. Challenges such as food insecurity, housing instability, transportation barriers, or limited access to healthcare can directly impact a student's attendance, learning, and emotional well-being. Through partnerships with community organizations, schools are able to help connect students and families to resources and supports that schools alone cannot provide independently. This might include food and basic need resources, healthcare and mental health services, family support programs, parenting resources, and youth programs. Organizations such as On the Move, which we heard from earlier, Puertas Abiertas, Community Resources for Children, First Five, and Napa County Health and Human Services help strengthen the network of support available to families, both inside and outside the school. To close tonight's presentation, I'm going to hand it back to Roxana, who will share our priorities moving forward and how we plan to continue strengthening these systems of support.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Christy. So first, I just want to acknowledge that this work is made possible through some braided funding that we have in NVUSD. I want to just mention some of those funding sources. The first one is the California Community Schools Partnership, which we heard about today. We also have been very fortunate to be recipients of the Learning Communities for School Success program for various cohorts. Certified Wellness Coach grants, Prevention Early Intervention grants through Napa County Health and Human Services, and in partnership with Napa Valley Education Foundation. Newcomer support funding through also Napa Valley Education Foundation and Napa County Health and Human Services, and the resources that the district provides through supplemental support. Beginning in the 26-27 school year, the California Youth Behavioral Health Initiative, or CYBHI, will also support sustainability of student wellness services across our schools. As we look ahead, our priorities remain focused on strengthening prevention, intervention, and sustainability. This includes continuing to build Tier 1 and Tier 2 prevention systems, increasing staffing consistency and professional learning, strengthening alignment to MTSS, and improving progress monitoring and data collection. We also want to continue building a common understanding of wellness across grade spans and school sites so that students experience consistency and supports as they move through their educational journey. Finally, another focus for us will continue to be looking at our braided funding formulas, data-informed decision, as we continue to build critical systems of sustaining these efforts long-term. We appreciate the board's commitment to supporting student health and wellness, and that concludes our presentation today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Before we go into discussions from the board, I'd like to call for public comment. I have a card from Melissa Abdo.
Good evening, President Chu, trustees, Superintendent Dr. Musetti, and district leadership. I want to acknowledge the district's work around student wellness and mental health supports and highlight the important role that Voices, a program of On the Move, plays in the development and success of the Wellness Center model. Voices youth outreach coordinators are embedded in wellness centers at Napa High School, Vintage High School, American Canyon High School, New Tech High School, and Silverado Middle School. These staff are young adults and recent graduates, many from NVUSD, with strong relational and leadership skills who are uniquely able to connect with students through shared experiences, authenticity, and trust. The youth outreach coordinators are the first welcoming face students see when they enter the wellness centers. They help create spaces that feel approachable, youth-friendly, culturally responsive, and safe. They support emotional regulation, build trusted relationships with students, connect youth to services and school wellness teams, and help reduce the stigma around asking for help. Today, youth outreach coordinators are not simply additional support staff on campuses. They are embedded members of wellness teams and a core part of the day-to-day infrastructure that helps wellness centers function effectively and engage students who might otherwise never access support. That level of engagement does not happen by accident. It happens because there are trusted relationships, youth voice, peer leadership, and authentic community partnership were intentionally built into the model from the beginning. It also happens because the district was willing to partner with community-based organizations that could bring different expertise, lived experiences, and approaches to student engagement into school wellness systems. Over the years, On the Move and Voices have helped bring substantial outside funding, partnership, staffing capacity, training, and innovation in this work in order to strengthen and expand wellness supports on school campuses. As this work continues to evolve, most YOCs are already certified wellness coaches, with remaining staff actively working toward certification. That investment reflects a long-term commitment to building a sustainable, professionalized peer support workforce that remains grounded in youth connection, early intervention, and relationship-based care. We are proud of what has been built together through our partnership with NVUSD, and we remain committed to continuing this work in ways that genuinely value authentic partnership, recognize the contributions of partner organizations and youth leaders, and continue centering young people in the design of school wellness systems. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Mr. Michaels, any comments online?
There are no public comments on this item.
Okay, thank you. Trustees, any questions or comments? Trustee Villegas-Hart.
I just want to extend my gratitude and thanks to everybody involved in the presentation tonight. These wellness centers for our secondaries are crucial, and I think we all know that. I can see that. My question would be, what and how often can we have the same conversation? And you guys have heard me say it over and over again, is we need to do this at a younger and younger age. I'm looking in the audience and I'm thinking specifically of our TK8s. Is there any plans to expand these kinds of programs into our 3 TK8s and even beyond that down to our regular TK5s?
Yeah, I think our health and wellness framework allowed us to look at our comprehensive system. And so when you see the tier 1 approach, there's a couple of areas that we're looking at how we make it more consistent and sustainable across those systems. One of the pieces specifically when you think about a wellness center at the secondary level, and then you think about elementary or even a TK, when we think about space, the space doesn't always have to be a facility that they go to. What came through from our students in particular, and our students from some of our TK8 schools participate on our advisory, is that they don't always need a service in particular, but sometimes just the space. And so as we think about, and for our youngest learners, some of our schools have some of our classrooms, even within a school, it's not necessarily consistent, have what's called comm corners, but those aren't necessarily consistent. I've been in a classroom where I've watched a first grader go to a comm corner, take a few minutes, and come back and engage in class. So really looking at what is the best way possible that we can do it, that we can afford and is sustainable, that meets the needs, and what's most age appropriate. As we think about that, we also we're looking at it from like a service-based model of what are the services that students need, and then how do we ensure that those services are there, even if it's not a physical space, because not all of them are required. So I'll toss to Roxana to see if she has anything.
I'll just expand on that and just say that even though the TK8 schools do not have the wellness centers, we've been able to extend the partnerships that we have at the middle schools and high schools to support Shear, Browns Valley, and now Vichy as well. So we have been able to continue some of the services and expand them to the TK8 schools as well. The other thing that you saw today is that we do have a coordinated system that includes many supports, not just by our NVUSD staff, but also partners. And those partnerships are also partners that we have at our elementary school sites. So we have Aldea, Mentis, many of the services that you saw listed today are services that we coordinate for elementary age students as well.
Great, thank you. I appreciate that additional explanation.
Trustee Breiser?
Yeah, I just really appreciated this overview and was really impressed with all of the different sort of angles and approaches that we have system-wide. I'm just am particularly moved by the Wellness Ambassador Program and then the Teen Council, knowing the Napa counterpart of Teen Council here, and just really leaning in and appreciate that your team is leaning into that understanding that Miguel shared about, sometimes kids don't want to really talk to another adult. They really want to go to another kid. Or maybe that was you, Hudson, that said that too. But so just, and Tawani, I think that you mentioned that the sort of kid-generated ideas about what kinds of supports or meetings or one-off kind of group skill focus or just a hangout space, to your point, Dr. Reddy, about sometimes it just is kind of, this is a place that I can go, and then there's going to be some peers there that are going to maybe know what I need to hear, or at least be able to express the empathy, is just very powerful. And I'm going to end with just over and over again, I heard a variation of the phrase normalizing help-seeking behaviors. We have a long way to go in reducing the stigma around struggling with your mental health. And I know that there have been different iterations, and we have at certain high schools like a Bring Change to Mind club, and so there is a certain amount of awareness that need is there. But these programs, the Wellness Ambassador, the Wellness Centers, the Teen Council, those are things that are really reducing the stigma. And really, that is what saves lives, is normalizing help-seeking behaviors. So thank you all for all of the work and movement and progress that you are contributing on behalf of our kids, because that's going to really make an impact.
Trustee Water?
Sorry. Back when I was working, which seems eons ago, one of my students was the founder of Voices. And all you have to do is read the book Paper Girl, and you'll find that children who've been in foster care often have very specialized mental health issues. And it was a good thing, and I'm glad that it's continuing. And gosh, at the Napa Education Foundation dinner, I donated enough money to train a certified wellness coach. So, I'm doing my part, and I am really impressed with the work that teens do with other. My husband went nuts, by the way, but it's all for the common good. And I'm impressed with the work that young people are doing. I know that the Teens Connect program really helped a friend's child, and this was a person who was a successful student, popular, athletic, had how on earth could she have problems? Well, everybody can have a problem. Everybody can have a problem, and I was visiting with another student, former student, who is now a psychotherapist, and he said, I was talking about the things that keep old people off the streets and from going crazy, all the volunteer programs in Napa. And he goes, yeah, they skew old. They skew old. Young people are busy. They're busy trying to, pay the rent, build a career, go to college. They've got a lot of things on their minds. And as we know, the general news can be very daunting. It's even daunting to somebody like me who's lived through a million cycles. But for a young person, it's definitely stressful. And he told me that he has severely depressed young patients, lots of them in happy Southern California. So it's true. It is true. It's a real need. And I thank you for all your work.
Trustee Gonzalez-Morris?
Thank you again for the presentation. I agree with all the comments said so far. I think the long-term focus is youth helping youth, and I think that's where the magic happens. I did have a question in regards to the funding in your slide where it mentions strategic funding and partnerships. From that list, and that's slide 12, I don't know if you want to put it up on the screen to help the staff. Which, like, out of all of these, are these applications we submitted? Or when you said strategic partnership, can you just elaborate more? What does that mean? Or were we the lead, or other agencies were leads in helping bring funding to the programs?
I'll just start with big picture. I think when we think about California state finances for an LCFF district, we are not allocated, our primary function is teaching and learning. And although we recognize that it takes supporting the whole child to provide that and ensure their success, we aren't funded through our base in LCFF funding to meet the needs of our students. And so it requires braiding funds, and I'll have Roxana speak a little bit about some of the applications and then some of the work that has to happen in partnership with other organizations.
So the list that you see on the slide, those are community schools and LCSSP are two of the main funding sources that we have. Those are applications that we submit as a school district to the state. So we are funded directly through the state. The other ones that I mentioned, which is prevention, early intervention, MSA, those are applications that we partner with Napa Valley Education Foundation, who then applies through Napa County Health and Human Services. We also have other funding sources that we partner with Napa County Office of Education. That's the Certified Wellness Coach grants. And I think just in general, there's other grants that we've had in the past where it's actually one of our nonprofit organizations that apply for the funding source, but we collaborate in the application process and in delivering the outcomes that we are applying for. So that's where the partnership piece is, that some of the services are not directly funded we don't directly receive the funding as the school district, but our partners do. But we collaborate in that process and deliver the services in our schools.
Are they reoccurring grants?
Some of them are. So community schools is the current cycle. It's a 5-year cycle, but there's potential for a different structure for that. LCSSP is a 3-year cycle, but we've been very fortunate to have multiple cohorts of LCSSP. And then the other ones are, there's been a lot of changes with behavioral health grants, such as prevention, early intervention, MSA. So those, for right now, we don't have those funding sources moving forward.
Trustee Jankowicz, do you have any other?
Well, I was just going to say I appreciate the intentional alignment of supports across all the tiers, and you defined them, I thought, very well. I'm grateful for the wellness centers, the student voice initiatives, and the network of community partnerships that help meet students where they are. The data and framework demonstrate a real commitment not only to intervention, but to prevention, the relationship building piece, and then ultimately long-term systems of care. So I do want to acknowledge the instructional division, the wellness staff, and the counselors, because you are creating safe, supportive environments where, like everybody has said, kids feel connected. And it is a critical part of our work. It's how we implement it, how we do it with thoughtful care, how we make it make sense, and kind of coordinating all of that to best serve our kids is an enormous responsibility. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for staying this late.
I know.
I know it's been a long day, and you're some of the hardest working people in the system.
I know. Thank you,
and
guys.
You have to do it tomorrow. So thank you so much for your contributions tonight and informing the board.
So right now it is 10:27, so I think we need to extend the meeting.
Make a motion to extend the meeting till midnight.
Second.
Okay, first by trustee Jankowicz, second by trustee Reiser to extend the meeting until midnight. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes. All right, we are now on to K, action items. K1, general services. K1A, adoption of revised Napa Valley Unified School District Governance Handbook. May I get a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Villegas-Hart. Mr. Michaels, any public comment?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. All right, item K1B, adoption of California School Board Association recommended February 2026 policy update.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Villegas Hart. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. K1C, adoption of regulation 4212.42, drug and alcohol testing for school bus drivers.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Villegas Hart. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes. K2, Business Services, K2A, Resolution 26-24, authorizing the continuation of emergency that requires the procurement of construction services.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Villegas Hart. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, may I have a roll call?
Yes, Student Board Member Fish Leader,
Aye.
Trustee Shu,
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares,
Aye.
Trustee Villegas Hart,
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz,
Aye.
Trustee Martin,
Aye.
Trustee Water,
Aye.
Trustee Ricer.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Okay, K2B, agreement with Child Star Inc.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Villegas Hart. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain?
Abstention?
Okay.
Abstain.
Trustee Gonzalez Mars will abstain, and the motion passes. Okay, K2C, data privacy agreement with Fathom Video Inc.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Villegas Hart. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes. All right. K3, facilities improvement. K3A, agreement with Bell Products. May I get a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Villegas Hart. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. K3B, contract with DRT Grading and Paving, Inc.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Villegas Hart. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes. K3C, contract with Roger Stringer and McClellan, Inc.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Villegas Hart. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. Item K3D, notice of completion for multiple facilities improvement projects.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Villegas Hart. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. K4, Human Resources. K4A, Resolution 26-23, Human Resources, non-reelection of probationary certificated employees.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Villegas Hart. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, it's a roll call vote.
Student Board Member Fish Leader,
Aye.
Trustee Shu,
Aye.
Trustee Gonzalez Mares,
Aye.
Trustee Villegas Hart,
Aye.
Trustee Jankowicz,
Aye.
Trustee Martin,
Aye.
Trustee Water,
Aye.
Trustee Ricer.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Okay, K4B, agreement with California State University, Chico.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Villegas Hart. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes. K4C, memorandum of understanding with Santa Clara County Office of Education.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Villegas Hart, second by trustee Riser. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes. K4D, request to hire educator less than fully credentialed.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Villegas Hart. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. Okay, item K5, instructional services. K5A, student data privacy and agreement with Caddy Studio LLC.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Villegas Hart. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Okay, motion passes. K5B, student data privacy agreement and subscription to DNA.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Villegas Hart. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion passes. K5C, student data privacy and agreement with Dorian Studios.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Villegas Hart. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion passes. K5D, student data privacy agreement and licenses with eSpark.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Villegas Hart. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Okay, motion passes. K5E, student data privacy agreement with Imagine Learning LLC.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Villegas Hart. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion passes. K5F, student data privacy and agreement with IXL Learning.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Villegas Hart. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion passes. All right, K5G, student data privacy and renewal agreement with Subject Technologies, Inc.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Villegas Hart. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion passes. All right, K6, operational services. K6A, agreement with Bow Wine Tours.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Villegas Hart. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There's no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion passes. K6B, agreement with Sunmaster.
Move to approve.
Second.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Villegas Hart. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Okay, motion passes. Item L, informational, L1, general services. There are no meeting minutes attached to any of them. There was a facilities and technology committee meeting, but minutes will be provided at the next meeting, regular board meeting. L2, human resources, L2A, quarterly report on Williams uniform complaint. Yeah. Mr. Michaels, any public comments?
There is no public comment on this item.
Okay, any questions or discussions? Okay. All right. Item M, additional suggestions and comments from board members and superintendent. Trustee Water?
The usual. I just wanted to point out human resources. Whoops, I just wanted to point out that human resources 4D, request to hire educator less than fully credentialed. These people anticipate being credentialed by the end of the year. So
Great.
I always like to say that.
All right. Item N, future agenda items. Okay, seeing none. We'll go on to item O, adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
First by trustee Riser, second by trustee Villegas Hart. All in favor? Aye. Okay, we are adjourned.